What started out as a WhatsApp group of friends spawned into a forum for debating and rating the films they saw. Then, one of them had an idea. Instead of typing their opinions, wanted to record them on a podcast. No Trailer Productions proudly presents Those Movie Review Guys. This podcast may contain spoilers.
You talking to me?
I will find you and I will kill you.
To infinity and beyond.
I am your father.
James Bond.
Here's Johnny.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And here we go.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Those Movie Review Guys. No need for the long introduction or explanation. You know who we are by now, and if you don't, then get to know. Four guys from London who love nothing more than to watch, discuss and review movies. Every episode of the cast we discuss 3 films, give our individual scores and how good we think they are, and then conclude each one with the coveted hashtag TMRG star rating. Make sure you subscribe to our channels. We're across all major streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts and YouTube, to name a couple. And also get in touch with us as well: Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at TMRG Podcast. Huge shouts out to everybody who was getting involved in the conversation on Instagram this week. There was a few comments on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Joker, which were appreciated. We got into a little back and forth. So yeah, if you've seen those films, make sure you listen to our review, but more importantly, get in touch with us and let us know your thoughts. But anyway, I go on
more
for too long.
More importantly, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and a little review about how much you enjoyed or you're enjoying our show.
It's true. I need to introduce the brethren. To my left, I have
Kyle.
Across from me, I have
Omari.
To the right, I have
Giles.
You know what? I got to drop this one because this is a Halloween edition, Halloween show. We got how many scary films we got in the cast today? Just the one.
None.
Well, no, actually, no. I will say that we have 2.
Do you know what? I get why you'd say that.
In joke.
Yeah. But the films we are going to
interesting.
Hey, listen, give Carl his airplay today because I know he's got a lot to say about all 3. But the 3 films we will be talking about are Hustlers, The Kitchen, and Ready or Not. But before we get into that, boys, how you been? Highlight of the week to the right. Let's go. Giles.
No, mine's too long. I'll go last.
Fair enough. Omari.
I don't really have highlights. I got throw forwards. Actually, shout out hating Wigan so much because they're just stressing me out. But my throw forward for the next one is going to NFL tomorrow. Go watch my beloved Jacksonville Jaguars mess up and cause more nonsense and stress me out again. But you know, I'm still going. You know, you like these sporting franchises and they always disappoint you. And you go with that stupid
You still
optimism.
give them your hard-earned cash.
Hey, listen.
Speaking of NFL, on my way to the studio tonight, I saw this NFL bus, but I think it was a Texas team. I don't know, are they playing?
Yeah, Houston, Texan Houston?
Who?
Yeah.
Have you just made that team up?
No,
you just made that team up?
It was something like that. It was like
the Houston Texans.
Yeah, it's because
it was something
what is
like that. It was something like that. But anyway, I saw this massive, they had a massive bus.
But it's Houston versus Jags.
Yeah.
It's on tomorrow.
That makes sense because they had the
What's the
fan
Houston
bus.
team's name?
Alright, Bob, I just told you, Houston Texans.
It's
Hey, listen.
it's something like that.
Hey, you know what? By the way, I know you're going to do research. Do your research. If you're going to say I'm wrong, say I'm wrong.
Do
Do you mean the Dallas Cowboys?
No,
it wasn't.
Dallas Cowboys is America's team. Please see the air quotation marks.
He's right. I reject it.
No, hold on.
So you wait.
Wait.
So you
Hold on.
Professional football
You fact checked
is
me.
intensely popular in Texas, and the state is home to 2 national NFL teams.
Houston Texans and Dallas Cowboys.
Houston Texans.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what,
Houston Texans.
He got it right.
You know what? For
He
that,
said Houston, Texas.
No.
He said Texan Houston.
No. Look, listen.
He did mess up at first.
But he was right, and for that, give him a little clap.
Nah, fuck
Halloween. It's Halloween.
I'll give him one.
Yeah, give him a little. It's Halloween.
what
There you go. There's my clap.
Anyway, so that's the first highlight, and then the second highlight is that I'm going away. again.
Woo, where to this time?
I'm going Mexico. I feel like every time I have a podcast, I
Nice.
just keep this theme. Every time you have a podcast, I have to go away. This seems like a good way. My back balance
Yeah,
doesn't say
let's
that.
see how long you can
But-
keep that up for, son.
I don't know. My back balance says no. But you know, I'm still going to try.
Mexico though, that's proper. And actually, you know, we've got to
Been
drop
there twice. Where you staying?
We got to drop another bomb because Amari has successfully dodged the Thomas Cook rankings.
Oh, wow.
Because there was a part we thought.
Hey,
Where you
He's
staying? Where you staying in Cancun?
Gonna
Okay,
get away.
so I have many people have asked me this multiple times, and my reply is, I'm going.
Okay, so the 2 times I've been, they've been adult-only hotels.
I repeat my statement. I'm going.
Okay.
Okay.
He's making it there. Complimentary picture with you with a beer,
Make sure
please.
you go to Cocabongos.
Okay. So
It's
what
a
you-
club. It's a club in Cancun.
I love the names of these places, man.
Mate,
Right.
listen, you'll love this club as well.
Man said bongos.
Cocabongos.
Coco Bongos.
Coco-
That sounds a bit more inviting.
Yeah.
Cockabongos? Nah, I think I'll pass.
They
mate.
have
is it Coco that has to go bongo?
Just let me know if they still have vertically challenged people swinging from the rafters,
What?
Yeah, this is sounding mad.
squirting drink at you.
Squirting drink, you say?
Alcoholic
Because the
beverages.
way-
He's
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
rafters. He's look. You can see. He's shut up and take my money.
Yeah, bruv,
He's in.
it's a madness.
He's in.
Like I said, I've been there twice.
I can see you been there twice.
Yeah. Cancun, all of that.
Alrighty then.
Kyle, what's your highlight of the week been?
No real highlight. I'm just happy to be here.
No.
You tried to do a juice there.
I'm just happy
You
to
tried
be
to do
here.
a little.
Nah.
No highlight.
Nah.
No,
We're not having that. We're not having
that comes to
'Cause we're-
mind.
We're all
Listen,
happy to be
Katie,
here.
I need a highlight from you.
My highlight is one of the films that I've watched, so I can't really speak.
But you didn't watch it this
Interesting.
week, though. You probably watched that just when it was just finished being made.
You know what? He watched it. He watched that 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly,
When it was
exactly.
in pre-production, so don't worry.
There was a film I watched this week, which is not on this show, but yeah, that was the highlight of the week.
Okay. Fair
Is it? But it's something we're going to review, so you can't speak about. it.
Possibly.
Well, we don't know.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Just to let the listeners in.
It's gonna be
little joke.
It's
that
gonna
we've
be
got.
it's gonna be an honourable shout out at the end of the season. End of, yeah.
So basically, right now, our schedules are each they're mad, and which means that the film schedule's even madder. So
We've got like 30 films to watch in about 10 days.
which Carl's seen all of them. To be fair,
That's why you made a couple of them as well.
well,
but-
exactly.
Nah, fair enough.
What about you?
My highlight was actually today. It was my little cousin's 10th birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we done a little. We always do a little meal for her. This time it was TGI's over in Enfield.
Happy
and it was
birthday, Nala.
Yep. Big. In fact, you know what? Another bomb. Shout out to Nala. Double figures in that. But no, it was nice. And it's just, you know, like obviously watching kids grow, you know, yourself, you got daughter,
Yeah.
you got family and whatnot. So you see them each year.
3
and it's
daughters.
like you have a bit more conversation and you
Yeah.
see they've developed a bit more. It's like each year they're excited about something else. And tonight she was saying, she's having a sleepover and she was really giddy and excited about that. So that was just nice, man. Good family vibes, just happy to be around everyone and see everyone. So yeah, that was my highlight.
So me, I've got a couple, and following on from the theme of family, I've just had a proud dad week. I've had a proud dad week. So
We like that.
yeah, my son, he you may or may not know, he plays football down in Bristol for Bristol Rovers, and yeah, he's been out with knee surgery, but he's moving correct. He had FA Youth Cup first round this week against Swindon, so we had to drive after work down to Swindon. But I mean, you've done one of those drives down to one of his games,
Devon.
on a weekday.
Serious.
But yeah, we got there. He played brilliantly. They won 3-1. So, although I'm glad he's won, it means I've got to do another trip next week to some other random obscure part of England, but it's all worth it. And then today, my daughter, she actually wanted to come to the recording today, but it's a little bit late, so she's not here. But yeah, she had a gymnastics tournament or competition, and it was a London wide one. So she won that.
Big.
Overall winner for her age
Little
group.
clap for Azaria, man.
So won it convincingly as well.
Proper
You know?
things.
that is serious,
That's what we
man.
like.
Came on with 3 trophies.
Don't win with a little bit. Win with a margin.
yeah.
Make them look worthless.
The joke is, I was saying to her mum, like, she's a little so-and-so. when that little girl, when she gets her game face on, so albeit when
Channels.
she's playing, oh mate,
Yeah, channels. It's good.
it just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh because I think,
Reminds you of someone?
oh yeah, chip off the old block and all that.
Excellent. Big
So yeah,
stuff.
proud dad week.
Big stuff. So we're talking about family, which is very convenient because the first film we're going to review kind of is a family in itself. But let's get into it. How are you feeling about the first film, Carl?
Family in itself.
In the sense of
No,
they create a
I
family.
see what
Do you get what I'm saying?
I always get
Because that was one of the big sort of parts of the film. Like
Big
certain
sister.
characters kept saying it, which is why as the film progressed, certain actions then had more of an effect. But yeah,
ramifications.
that's it. What do you reckon?
I'm trying to
First
actually
film.
remember
What are you
about the
thinking?
film.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't actually.
Because you said you was talking about your film. I thought you was looking forward to getting to one of these films.
I'm looking forward to getting into one of these films.
I'm
as
looking
well.
forward to get to one
Is
of
it this
them.
one?
It's not this one, no.
No.
Okay.
No.
I know what my favorite film of the week is already.
Okay, Giles.
Easy.
Giles.
What
What are you saying?
Easy.
What are you saying for this
Easy.
first?
Is it really-
first
are we
debate?
really
Easy
gonna
one,
say one?
actually. I think so.
I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to.
Do you know what? Before I start the synopsis of the first film, one of these films, I actually was, as I was watching it, all I could think was, I cannot wait to hear Kyle's review of this. I cannot wait to hear Kyle's review. But anyway, let's get into it. Film number 1 of today's episode is Hustlers, released September the 7th, 2019, directed by Loren Scarfaria. We had Constance Wu as Destiny, Jennifer Lopez as Ramona Vega, Julia Stiles as Elizabeth, and Lily Reinhart as Mercedes. Inspired by the viral New York Magazine article, Hustlers follows a crew of savvy former strip club employees who band together to turn the tables on their Wall Street clients.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Hey!
Kyle, were you entertained?
Yes.
Amari, were you entertained?
Yes.
Giles, were you entertained?
Yes.
Full House, I was entertained as well.
I thought you were going to say no.
I thought he was going to say no as well.
Interesting. Why
I thought he
that?
was
Why
gonna-
did you think that?
Because of how the last 2 shows have gone.
Nah.
Yeah,
see,
there's always been one.
all I'm gonna say, is
Yeah.
that those opening 10 minutes music. If you like things that move, you should be entertained.
I second every word. Do you know what? No,
Yes.
I was gonna.
And I had that on my notes. I said this is the best opening scene I've ever seen in any film.
Now, I must have missed that. I must have got to the
Wait,
middle.
you said
Hold on, because
ever,
you took it to
ever.
you took it to another level.
Nth degree
Listen,
of
you took it to another level.
level.
No, but
Amazing.
But I know why. You was hungry in it. You was hungry.
Yeah.
Listen.
Carl's hungry in it.
It's like I just look.
I got to the cinema late because I was doing my deliberate let me not. But it's fine because no, not at all. But I can already get the gist of what I probably missed.
No, but getting the
man.
gist and witnessing it, two
No,
different
no,
things.
no.
Rewatching the
you
film.
need to watch it again.
Can I just say one thing? Can we just take 5 seconds for Jennifer Lopez, please? Jennifer Lopez appreciation.
No,
Yes.
as much as I'll have to agree with you.
Wait. You know what?
Sorry,
you know,
you're
no, wait, wait.
interrupting. You're interrupting Jennifer Lopez.
Wait,
Nah, she's not great like that.
Wait,
But
let me
Nah, she
finish.
is.
For her
Let me
age.
let me-
Nah, nah,
let
for
me
her
tell you
age.
let me
For
tell
her
you
age. I
why
was
she's
gonna
getting.
mention
Let me
that.
tell you why she's getting it because I learned that she learned how to pole dance for the film.
Okay.
Alright? So when you learn how to do that, and you are doing double 8 split 5
Yeah,
twist,
I heard.
and I'm doing the dribble whilst I'm in the cinema, you are getting appreciation.
Well, to be fair, how old is Jennifer Lopez now?
She's 50.
She's
50.
not old.
That's amazing because if you think about, you said for the film she learned how to pole dance.
Yes.
she even learned how to act. which is great.
No, you never
It's a
watched-
shame, though. It's
No.
a shame. Oh, whoa! It's a shame that it's taken her to get to 50 to realize that if you're doing something, you should learn how to do it.
No, respect
as
her.
opposed to
Respect
singing,
her in Made in Manhattan.
which she made a
No,
career.
respect it. Made in
But-
Manhattan.
yeah.
Hey, she did a lot of things for me in Made in Manhattan.
Listen, I've been to Manhattan a few times. I'm glad she wasn't there.
No, she did a lot of things.
To be honest with you,
Her acting
She's done a
skills.
couple of good films.
No, you said
Good
couple.
films?
Yeah, out of sight. Out of sight.
Good.
don't know,
Outside.
but yeah.
Have you seen that?
I can
Yeah,
listen.
but you said good.
Listen, she's only
That's-
9 years older than me.
that's a four-star film.
She's. I'm not a fan of Jennifer Lopez, but
This is the
she
understand
did look good.
conversation underneath this conversation.
for her
So,
age.
who wants to get into the meat and potatoes? Of
All
this,
I'm gonna
of this
say is that
discussion now?
all I'm gonna say I have to worry about Nye. I'm just looking at that girl. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she.
And then and you know what made it work? It's the chinchilla coat. I was like,
Yeah, she did rock that well.
oh,
100%.
DD.
So, who's going to kick this off and get into the
Carl should.
the meat and potatoes of this conversation? Carl.
There is no meat and potatoes. There's just Jennifer
No, there's
Lopez.
stuff we need to discuss. I mean, all right,
And
for example,
and Kiki Palmer looking like I want to just lick.
but there's more.
No, there's nothing more to the film for me. I was finished there. I was good at that point. I don't even think I have any more things to say. I think I'm done for the review. There you go. That's mine. Done.
But you know what? Speaking of J-Lo, I did like the character that she portrayed. I mean, I was a bit skeptical watching this. I thought to myself, is it going to be another sort of like on the wall bit of a force? You see certain names, everyone's ranting and raving, Cardi B's in this, Lizzo's in this and all this kind of stuff. So I thought, is it going to be a bit hokey? But I thought the storyline of this was actually good. And then obviously you've then gone on to say, go and do the research.
Did you do it?
I haven't yet. But obviously reading the synopsis and it said obviously off the New York article. So that makes me think, okay, this obviously, I mean, you've obviously read it, innit?
Yeah.
So give me a quick sort of rundown.
I mean, me going into this film, when I realised what it was about, I was like, I'm not going to like this. I mean, I'm not a fan of strippers and their art. I think to me, they're pointless.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of went in there and was like, yeah, this is not going to be for me. However, when I realised that there was a whole kind of backstory on, it wasn't just about the stripper game, but it was kind of like how they were hustling, quintessentially the Wall Street hustlers.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is deep. And then obviously, me admitting that I missed the beginning part, I can kind of guess what happened. But I like the fact that it was someone telling a story.
Yeah.
And I think the
flashbacks and
Destiny.
timeline jumps are always good.
Yeah, nice. She narrated it really, really well.
Her narration I did like. Brad Pitt's narration from Ad Astra I didn't like.
You didn't like.
So this is like, it's a comparable thing in terms of she was telling a story about how it happens and what's going on and stuff like that. But I was like, all right, cool.
I didn't like that.
You didn't like the narration?
Nah, I didn't like, not necessarily the narration, but the back and forth, like with her being interviewed by the reporter. I didn't think it was necessary.
I have rude things to
You
say.
didn't think it was necessary for
I
her
have
to...
rude things to say about Julia Stiles. I'm not going to lie, but carry on.
She was just, I don't know what's happened to her career.
Hey, bruv, listen.
Nothing.
You just saved,
Nothing's happened
you
to her
just
career.
saved The Last Dance. So you look like the premium poster white girl for black people, and then what are you now? Just a hag.
Hang on, I want to talk more about why you didn't like not liking the narration.
Yeah, I just didn't think, I guess it's not the narration, but I guess telling the story with the flashbacks with her talking to the reporter, I just didn't really think that was necessary.
But remember, this is based off of an article.
Yeah, so I get
of an interview that was turned into an article.
I get why they done it, because they want to give it that sort of authenticity. But I didn't really like it when they kept going back to, because I wasn't sure whether this was meant to be real or fake, or I didn't think it added any sort of value. I thought they could have told that story.
You're talking about the scenes when they cut back to,
when
to
they
them
cut
doing
back
the interview in the house.
It didn't really add any value for me.
The reason why it added value, because the only time that it was present or kind of in that moment of the conversation was when I was talking about when she was like basically snitching so she can actually be with her daughter. That's the only time when it comes to the courts, when it came to an actual current timeline. The rest of it, you knew it was a flashback. Like even when she was talking about, oh, she did this for the money because she needed money, and there was no money. It was that it's a $60. I was like,
And just to add to that, I actually, one of the reasons I liked the timeline sort of scenes was because very early on it kind of poses the question of, okay, so what's going to happen? So obviously, before you even told us the past,
you kind of knew that there was, like, you're at a point.
Exactly.
And it's like, how do you get to that point?
Exactly. But the problem with that is, and one of the things I didn't like was then it didn't then lead anywhere. That's kind of, so when the film ends, obviously we'll get to that in a minute, but sort of when you're brought up to speed, so now the story she's telling, we're now in present day, it was kind of, I was thinking, okay, so the story's going to continue, like we're going to see what happens next, and then obviously that's where it ends.
But it's not, for me, it's not even about where it's going to continue, but I know, for instance, you're not locked up in jail. So when you're doing all these big hustles now, these big scams, I know there's no real big consequences because you're having this conversation.
You say this,
you didn't know whether anyone was going to go to jail though.
I didn't know whether they were going to go to jail, but I know you didn't do no long time.
So doesn't mean you didn't lose what you didn't lose the essence of yourself, because she lost the essence of herself.
Because to me there was no real consequences.
She lost a big sister because of the consequence.
You think?
Yeah,
yeah, cool, yeah.
I will call J-Lo her
going
big
back to
sister.
what Elliot said at the start about the
family.
Yeah.
They were very much. I mean,
the Christmas scene.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
family.
that was a big
They were
Yeah,
they were very
outside
much
of that scene, I didn't really
Yeah,
get
but
the
do
family.
you not?
It was she definitely looked up to her like a big
Yeah,
sister.
because she took her under the wing,
her
saying,
wing.
Yeah, she
Under-
looked up to her as a mentor. I don't know about Big Sister.
No, because that went okay. So she was broke, done, like,
And that's what I was going to
finished.
say. If you
And
look at the
then
scenes of her, was her nan or her aunt
Yeah.
as well. So it shows that there's no one around.
Yeah,
She didn't have that.
and she, no actual role models that would actually achieve that she wanted to achieve, or at least do things the way she thought was okay. So even when she was concerned about, oh, we're drugging them, she was like, how are we going to drug them? Are we going to do it in a safe way? But she's like, and then when she had the control of the system in terms of it's not right, but it's okay. It's okay. Everyone, no one's hurting. No one's going to be a problem. And when progressing forward, it was nice. She understood that space, and she understood.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have done that without her big sister introducing her to that lifestyle. And the only reason she wanted to continue doing it is because her big sister was doing it. And it's only when her big sister was getting greedy is when she was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I guess it's more. I see her as more of like a mentor as opposed to a sister. I didn't really see a sisterhood. There wasn't enough scenes outside of that Christmas one that showed me it's a sister. It's like a mentor. Like she's showing her the ropes, and so she's looking up to her, but not. I didn't get that sense.
But just to say off of that, one of the reasons I did get that whole family sort of feeling was one, because one of the characters was Mum, as they called her. I think the
hostess. The hostess.
the madam.
and they were all of like kind of like daughters. So that to me is what gave the connotation of sisterhood. Just throwing this out there, was I the only one that wanted to see Mum do a dance?
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
You definitely were.
You both know, we all look to you, and I'm right. I don't know what you're doing over there.
No, I literally just threw that in. Just
No,
for the
no,
reaction.
it's not okay. It's not okay.
don't try it.
I'm not gonna lie.
You
Not
want
gonna lie.
that support, you don't get it.
Not gonna lie, but she did have some back though. Anyway, Charles.
On a side note, I was drinking the paint stripper.
15 minutes later. I love that film, you know, it was great.
And just touching on to the Wall Street guys, some of the bars that we had from them, like the epitome of pricks. You know them? You know, like obviously you have your sort of. I mean, we've had Wolf of Wall Street, we've had Wall Street with Michael Douglas, so you kind of start to paint an image of what those kind of guys in that sort of scenario may be. And obviously it's fabricated, it's film and that, but you do kind of think, obviously making X amount of money, having that kind of importance, but just some of like the way they were going on. And it's funny because you could even say that obviously it's not Wall Street, but in Joker, you know, the two guys on the train,
Three.
similar,
The three guys.
that's it.
Yeah.
Similar sort of kind of
From the
bravado.
financial district.
Yeah. So like, I was immediately laughing when I think in the sort of opening scene where you see Destiny walking around and he's like, hey Lucy Lou, like, you know,
Yeah.
they've just
Yeah.
just that sort of prickish behavior, but I liked it. I thought it was a good sort of demographic to go at, the sort of Wall Street guys.
I just like I said, I like the
Didn't feel sorry for him at all.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, I like the fact that you've got one world that seems to be so far apart from another world, but yet they kind of
meet in the middle.
They were married together and kind of needed each other.
Yeah.
And because you see the change in the whole the
With
way
the
how
crash,
club,
innit?
yeah, with the crash, and then you've got these cheaper Eastern European girls that come in. It's like
I even liked the way they brought down the 3 tiers of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
yeah.
you know what? Quick little bomb for the CEO because he was running things. He was running things.
Disrespect
Man comes in the back, lifts straight to the top floor.
with no cameras.
Start showing, this is my home video. Yeah, levels. So what about the other characters? Because I mean, obviously one of the biggest names in this was Cardi B. Like her or love her.
She
I
didn't
actually
act.
thought she was going to be a villain.
but she didn't act.
She wasn't even in it.
yeah, she
No.
was a side.
No,
like
you're
which is
missing
a
the
good
whole.
thing,
You're
though.
missing the whole
That's a
point.
good
It was a good thing. Yeah.
She didn't act. She was just being herself. If you ever watch her
she's come
normal
from this
Instagram
world, right?
post or
Yeah.
anything, if you watch a normal Instagram post or whatever,
Nope.
I've had the misfortune and sometimes the
Don't lie, you
fortune.
follow her.
Sometimes
I've been watching her on that Rhythm and Flow.
Oh, that's a
the
reality show on Netflix.
I haven't
Music
seen
show.
it yet, but
Trying
it's
to
supposed
find
to
a
be
new
decent.
rapper. It's like a rapper on X Factor.
Trying to find a new rapper.
Rapper.
Let that just sink in.
Instead of getting a rapper
So we've
that
got a
could be a
show
rapper.
about trying to find a new rapper.
It's actually decent.
Really?
Like,
Is it a decent
I'm
show?
actually
Let's-
surprised.
let's-
2019.
Actually, you know what? But some people have said it's good. It's like making a band, though.
It's
Do you remember
actually
making the
decent.
band?
Yeah.
I remember making the band, sending man to for cheesecake.
And
hey,
what
listen,
happened to
I got
those band
entertained.
members?
Hey, bruv, you got sent for cheesecake. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I got
But
entertained.
he's still
now
battle rapping, though.
sleeping with his children's.
His son's ex.
Yeah.
What kind of guy? No,
It's ridiculous.
No, he's missing Cassie. Leave him. Anyway,
Let's not make the band.
Quick bomb for Alex Fine because man saw the opportunity and. But anyway, I thought Cardi B was gonna be a villain. Actually,
Villain?
yeah, I thought she was gonna be like the main sort of bad entity in the film, just because of she wasn't featured much, and then I didn't really trust her. I thought she might be the one to
You
like
trust her to
snitch.
act that much?
I didn't know. I didn't know,
Listen,
but obviously,
someone must have. They got J-Lo to headline the film. Let's not talk about.
Let's
not talk about.
Okay, but
acting.
we're gonna be honest though. But J-Lo actually, I thought J-Lo
She pulled
carried
it
the
off.
film
She did.
much more
No,
than.
she did. Listen to what you're misunderstanding me. Like
You're so surprised that
I'm well surprised.
Listen to the order you're doing right now.
Listen,
You're like,
I am well surprised.
so you're gonna watch another films now? No, after this.
no,
Oh, no,
no,
after
no,
this.
whoa,
No,
hold
any
on,
films
hold on.
after this film?
Is there a Hustlers 2?
No, but no, but I mean, if she does something else, that's
If she does something else.
do you know
Yeah.
what? I'd love to see a Hustlers 2 London edition. that shit would be a mess.
You know, all it would be, I'm going to fly you to Dubai.
End the film. Roll end credits. But yeah, no, I mean, okay, so we've had a laugh and a joke about Cardi B, but there's another cameo which I think, can we just get this out of the way? Because this was one of the parts I just thought, why? There was no need.
Because
but
he
I
wanted to
get
get paid. Man has herpes now. Man has kids for different women that he can't even talk about.
Listen, but it was a good slow-mo.
For goodness, but it was.
Listen,
To be fair,
it was a good slow-mo.
It was.
Yeah,
And that's a banger of a tune.
If you picture yourself like walking into a strip club, I mean,
And you're hearing
You're
your
gonna
song.
do it like you're gonna do it like
you're gonna do it
Ursha.
like
Yeah.
that, innit?
Yeah, so why are you complaining? Listen, he did it well.
I'm not complaining.
No,
I'm
he's
saying it was a good
complaining.
slow-mo.
He's complaining.
Yeah, because
There
it
was
was
nothing wrong with it. Though.
Nah,
No,
it was,
but look
do you know
at-
what it was? It was
what
one
was
of
it?
them love to hate moments. It's like,
No, it wasn't Mama.
Usher's in this as well.
Hey,
He's
listen.
walking in, he's smiling, and then not only
The
is he
money. The
not
money.
even the money. Oh, what's your name? Carl, do an impression for me, please. Oh, what's your name?
He can't even do it.
He's got the lowest voice out of all of us. He needs to do it.
Come
on, this style.
Come on.
I can't do it.
You can do it. Come on. Let's give him a clap. Come on, Carl. I need to hear those two words.
Hi, what's your name?
I'll let him off. We'll get him after the cast. But yeah, it was a bit hokey, man. It was
Okay, it was. But it
had to
wasn't. The
say
way you're saying it is bad. It was actually a decent, entertaining scene.
It was.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll
saying
give
it.
I'll
It
give
was
that.
kind of
It
out of
was
place with the
entertaining.
rest of the film.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
entertaining.
But it was.
It was
I thought
entertaining.
It was a good slow-mo. I'm a sucker for a slow-mo.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining. What else was entertaining was Manager Mark. So you see, after we've got from the strip club now, I think this is when the crash happens and they will have to get regular jobs.
You mean the redistribution? Oh no, in the retail shop.
in,
when she's folding clothes.
I thought you were
When
talking
she's
about.
folding clothes.
I thought you were talking about inside. I need my cut.
No,
the doorman needs his cut. No, you're talking about.
I need to leave early.
Do I have kids? I don't make kids.
Why? I think the bar was.
Man,
I think the bar was.
I've got the bar. I've got the bar. The bar was, am I the father? Then why should I give a shit?
Yeah.
But the matter of factly way, the way he dropped that, I was like, yeah.
And he was eating a donut or
He
something
was,
at the time.
yeah.
as
He
well.
didn't even look up.
Bothered.
He didn't even look up.
Bothered. Loved that. Yeah, that made me
If
laugh
you're
a
gonna
bit
drop
too
some
much.
stone cold line like that, that's how you drop it. Facts.
Heartless.
Facts.
Heartless. Yeah, there was a lot of scenes like that in this film, though. That I think, and that's what I think worked in this film. It was like it was quite a serious film if you look at what the girls are doing and the theme of it. But there was a lot of light-hearted comedy and some like sort of feel-good moments. Like with them, I think was it the nan that she lives with.
Yeah,
So when the nan,
Yeah.
I think the Christmas scene when they're talking about Frank Sinatra or someone.
Yeah,
and
the nan's been with
the
Frankie Valli or whatever.
That's it, Frankie
The
Valli.
nan
Yeah.
was about. She was
Yeah.
living her
I've been with
best
Frankie
young
Valli.
life.
Yeah.
She was like, I need to get it before I need to go back home to do the family thing, but I'm gonna do this thing first.
And you know what? I mean, I don't know about you boys, but you know when you watch films about people getting money or people doing criminality, whatever, The Yard. Love that.
Yeah,
the
on point.
penthouse with the you know them Christmas trees you only see in American films because I ain't never met no one in England that's got a Christmas tree like that. But
The yards ain't big enough.
Them high ceilings.
I'm telling you. telling you, that was, and I actually like that scene. I wouldn't say it was my favorite. We'll get into that in a minute. But that scene of the Christmas sort of, when the chips are up, everyone's making money, everyone's happy, and like there was that scene where they were all in J-Lo's apartment, they're all sitting on the couch. It was nice. It was nice.
I know what my funniest scene is now thinking about it. Anyway, let's carry on.
What did you feel though? Like obviously when we start to see them up in the ante and doing the actual hustling. Like that drugging thing was mad, you know?
No, it wasn't the drugging thing that was mad. It's the fact that they came with a formula to actually say, we tried to bake it, we tried to reduce it with boiling, we tried different methods before we get the correct execution and dosage. I was like, raw, is this what criminals do on a daily?
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
Control.
Yeah. Going to work.
Hey, listen, I know it's a job. I appreciate that it's a job, but I was like, you look kind of, you know, drug companies do the same thing and they call it legal work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't you just get the legal work and get paid the same P? You get paid more probably if you're in the correct legal company.
Listen, they were moving mad anyway.
No, the extra team assets that they've got to assist them was
the hustle was mad.
Especially that special
Can I
one.
talk about the new
Not the girl, not yet. 2 minutes, we'll get to that. The recruit.
The recruit.
We'll
No,
get to
that's
that.
what we want to talk about. The recruit. That's the one.
Let's talk about it. Let's go.
Can I just say, like, for me, that was the lowest point. You could just see that
Liability.
she was going to be
Listen, I
the liability.
I ain't got the.
She was going to be bad news from. You knew that was it. The beginning of the end.
They didn't even
well,
let
she said
Issa
it
in.
anyway.
They didn't even let Issa in. Like she's gonna be okay, and then she just fell off a little bit.
You just knew this girl wasn't on the same level.
Listen, I ain't got the ident, but I can do a pretty good impression. Sorry, one. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Oi. Problems. You knew it.
You knew it was
Problems. And Lopez was too hungry for the P.
Yeah.
He was too hungry for
blinded.
the P.
She was blinded.
The quality control went down.
Yeah, but I think the voiceover, she said, we're breaking the law, we don't want to work with criminals.
She did say
what
that.
she said.
And I was like, are you people criminals? I was very confused by that statement.
But you
That
know,
was a bar.
but it is a bar because it's like when you're blinded by your own action because of
greed,
the money,
yeah.
because of the money's coming in. It's like you start to. I like to. I clock that as well.
Do you know what I also found funny was the two detectives.
Yes,
And they didn't know nothing. And then they heard the story. It's like, bruv, you're just trying shit.
Yeah,
It's
typical NYPD cops,
then,
innit?
and then my man sees the article in the paper.
He's like, hang on a sec.
This is sounded like
It was when the guy said, he went there 3 times. He must have enjoyed it. Sitting back. Another scene I wanted to tap on, I need to make an ident. We're going to have to make an ident for when you laugh at the wrong moments of a film. Let me see
Just
who
do
else
the
is-
Joker laugh.
Let me
It's
see
just
who
got to
else-
be the
it's
Joker
true.
laugh.
Yeah, it has in it. It has in it. I'll cut that. Who else laughed at the scene? The guy that asked for the blowjob.
What, the money?
She said, how
the
much
money?
did she say? 150.
No, she didn't say money. He was like,
He
I
said-
have a $300 bills.
That's it.
And dashed it on the floor.
That's it. And the bar was, when I got off the floor, I saw he gave me 320s. Give me short change, love.
Do you know
One time.
The game's, but this is what I'm saying. The game's changed. Like with all these films, nothing lasts forever. You know, everything. You know, you have your time, and you got to know when to get in. You got to know when to get out. And this is, you know, even if we're coming on to another film that we're going to talk about later on, but it's everything has its time. You know, and nothing.
Yep.
You know, nothing's certain. You can't think, because I'm doing this today, then it's the whole game had changed, man.
Always
the whole
gonna
game
get
had
caught.
changed.
That's
the whole
it.
game had changed.
Always going to get caught.
And do you know what I put for that scene? This is the problem with American currency. It all looks the same.
Yeah.
It's true, though.
You're right.
No, it's true, though.
Savage.
You could never get tricked in England. You know what £20 note is?
Yes.
And you know what £50 note is?
They think our money is pretty.
Because we have, but you
got
see how
colours.
Carl's going on? Because we have the best money. We speak the best language, and we've got the best currency, and we've got the best cuisine.
You say that, but it's the 2nd of November. and I don't believe Brexit's happened yet. So
What's that?
We don't even have a parliament at the present time.
What's that?
But anyway, that's
Brexit done. Brexit starts and ends in here, mate. I'll tell you that now. Just to flip the script very, very quickly, one of the just before we go into favourite scenes, one of the I'd probably say the most hard hitting scene in the film was when Destiny finds her nan. It was like the whole film is very sort of jokes and lights and in that scene, I don't know if you remember, when she walks into the house and then the nan just passed and it's like silent. That caught me. I was like, ooh. And I enjoyed that because, as I said, the whole film's been hokey and we had the Usher scene and it's lap dance and all that kind of stuff. But in that one scene, I think, and added to the Christmas scene as well, it really, the film did a good job of showing the relationship. Because there wasn't much of it, but the scenes that they were together and obviously giving her the money and it starts off with her not making much and she gives it all to Nan. I thought that was really, really good. I did enjoy that.
Relationships, but the film not making much of it. Was it Destiny had a child, didn't she?
That's right. Yeah, with the
random
skater
geezer.
guy. Yeah,
with the random geezer.
Like,
they didn't really.
Yeah,
it's like one minute she'd met him, and then they had a kid, and then
he dusted.
He was in the film for that.
Yeah.
Favourite scenes.
Start to the left, Kyle.
The Christmas scene.
Christmas. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
That was a very good scene, and it showed. Again, I wrote down at what point does money become irrelevant, because all the gifts they were buying each other it held no weight anymore.
No, it's true.
It didn't matter.
I thought the chinchilla coat held weight for her. Because
Do you know what?
She elevated it to a level of, I respect you so much, I'm going to give you the same that I've got.
I'm glad you mentioned chinchilla.
It's always the chinchilla coats, isn't it?
I wrote chinchilla fur coat. I bet Petter loved that.
Do you know what? It's always the coats.
It is always the coat.
Frank, what's his name?
Let's say Frank Lucas.
Yeah, Frank Lucas.
I still feel for him, you know. I still feel for him.
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
What? Give me that. Get that off. Get it off.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? And then this as well.
Do you know? Have you ever seen a chinchilla?
How much does one actually cost? Just out of interest.
I don't know. I think they cost a lot of money, but whatever that means.
Innit?
But chinchilla fur, because the animal's quite a rare animal. I was lucky enough to see a real chinchilla. I think I'm going to fact check it by the end of the cast, but I think they're from somewhere in South America. Argentina's sticking out in my head. But do you remember this guy? This is a little bit off topic. Do you remember the guy that used to come to schools of the animals?
Yeah.
Because that one guy went to every fucking school in London or in the world.
I'm going to say no, because I only remember a guy
You didn't go to school? Is that what you're going to tell me?
I remember,
Because that's why you can't read?
Well, no. I can read. I read at the Murray level of skill and deception. Okay? And keyword was deception. Because
You're a Decepticon.
No. I'm a Decepticon posing as an Autobot, posing as a Decepticon.
As a human.
Posing as an android.
But yeah, he came one time with this chinchilla. And I remember him going on about this rare endangered species. And it was the first time I even heard the word. And then obviously I was a child at the time. But as I've grown up, I've heard chinchilla fur coats quite a lot. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's peak for the chinchilla.
It's true. They're probably not still endangered anymore. They're done.
Dodo.
That's mad. That's
Finished.
mad.
Nice, deep.
Amari, what was your scene?
To be honest, it's actually a raw scene.
Go
It's
for
the
it.
naked guy. Oh, you don't remember the scene?
I don't remember this.
Oh.
The naked guy.
My favorite scene
Oh,
was
the
when
swimming
she
pool.
was calling
The swimming pool.
our
yeah,
best
yeah,
friend,
yeah.
best friend, the druggy cocaine girl, was supposed to be doing this hustle.
Which part of the scene though?
The whole thing.
Oh, the whole
thing. It was mad. It was
the whole
mad.
thing was madness.
It was
so
mad.
the druggy cocaine girl, the guy's now fucked, half in the pool, half dead. Oh, cool for you, Bob. I'm supposed to be looking after my kids. She's not answering. Cool for you, Bob. Look after my. Cool for you, Bob. Fine, I'm coming. Trying to save her, trying to save the guy. Drives up to the hospital. My girl runs out, drops on the pavement. They banged into that 15 times in the first place.
Mad.
And then she calls the girl and says, "What you doing?" "Oh, I'm looking after cocaine girl." I was like, bruh.
Yeah, that was like,
and that was her line as well. That was it. That's what killed the whole.
That was a good scene, actually. Again, it's that sort of like beginning of the end kind of.
That was the
Taking your foot off the gas, quality control lowered. Giles, favourite scene?
My favourite scene was when they was trying to get their drug, when they was mixing the drug and trying to get
In
the
the
recipe
kitchen.
correct.
Yeah.
That
With the right process.
yeah, because there was a bit where I think they put too much in,
And they knocked out the house.
They're just sitting there like asleep. Yeah, that was my favourite scene because I could. Yeah,
It was very well shot. It was very well shot. And again, it was very realistic in the sense of you can imagine, like, if we was in that predicament, we'd do the same thing.
because you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly,
It's-
exactly.
it
Realistic.
kind of- it reminded me of this is why you should have paid attention in science.
Mine was outside of the J-Lo scene, obviously showing the different moves, was the end where they're all getting nabbed. And it was, I think it's Lord. It's a Lord tune called Royal.
Okay.
Royal, you know that tune.
Yeah.
And they're all like slow mo.
Yeah.
They're all like I think the
She texts her, didn't she? She texts her
Yeah,
and says
saying run.
That's it. Yeah.
And then she's like, what does run mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it.
Too
Yeah.
late. Too
And
late.
then you see the
Too late.
again. It's a classic
See the
sort of.
silhouette of them.
Yeah, we've seen
outside,
it in
yeah.
so many films
That's
before.
why that's why I'm surprised that was your favorite scene. I've seen this all before.
But I liked it. Because I knew it was coming, and again, maybe it was the track. I thought the track went well with the scene. I liked the different dynamics in how each person was getting nabbed. Like, that was a good scene. I enjoyed it.
You've only spoke favourable about the film. It's concerning.
Well, Jesus. Well,
He did say he was entertained, yeah?
I was entertained.
Oh,
yeah.
I was.
no,
we
he said-
all were entertained,
okay.
but we haven't said one bad thing about the film.
Well, I did.
Oh, no.
I mean, we can do that in the wrap up. Because it's that time anyway. So, seeing as you've quite nicely.
Unfortunately, I haven't got it in my wrap up, but yeah, it's 3 stars. Easy to watch, easy to recommend. Solid performances all round. Nothing that I haven't seen before, but it was still enjoyable. It reminded me of a film by Sofia Coppola, The Bling Ring. I don't know if any of you lot watched that.
I've not seen that.
Is that the one? Is that the UK one? If I'm thinking, no.
No. This is
Okay.
where these girls go into rich celebrities' houses and start stealing all of their jewelry and stuff.
Oh, well.
That's a true story.
Get a job, go to work.
Because all
Pay
these
your taxes.
But then, to be fair, though,
Ever after.
basically all these celebrities that live in Hollywood Hills, their doors are never locked.
that's right.
So then they start off at Paris Hilton's house. They just walk in,
Hey,
start
Mari,
wearing their clothes.
I've got a couple of days off next week. Can you get that flight changed
Yeah,
from
rerouted.
Mexico to Cali? Like, just getting a few
possible.
ideas over here.
Possibly.
But it remind if you lot watch that, that's a good film as well. It reminded me a lot like that.
What's it called?
The Bling Ring.
The Bling Ring.
Yeah, The Bling Ring. I like seeing the different perspective of the world of stripping, and also the psychology behind the money making. And it was good just to see the human side of strippers. They're going through different. Obviously, if you've ever been to a strip, you never think about these women in a particular way.
Have you ever been to a strip club, Carl?
Maybe not.
That's it, maybe. you know that scene at The Simpsons when Grandpa goes to the club and Bart's there and he sees him and just does the 180 and walks out.
Puts his hat back on.
One
Takes his hat
time.
off, puts his hat back on and goes out.
Mad.
Well, yeah, and it looked at greed from a female's perspective, which I haven't really seen much in film when I was thinking about it. So that was good. There were a few things where I didn't like the fact that they kept, even though they showed the hustle of them drugging the same guys, they kept showing the same scene, the same bar, the same drink. It got a bit repetitive. Didn't like that. But yeah, that's why I gave 3 stars.
3 stars from Kyle. Amari, what's your star rating?
I'm just thinking about the opening scene. Give me a minute.
Don't tell me you're going to give it an extra star just for the opening scene.
Hey, that's me.
This is not The Dark Knight. This is not The Dark
Who's
Knight.
giving it 1 star?
You really can't. Never. I'm thinking about, can I really do that? 'Cause-
You can. It's your rating. Your rating's your rating.
No. I was like, can I do that? Look at myself in the mirror. That's
Yeah,
what,
that's
that's
the
what
real
I care
question.
about. Can
That's
I look
the
at myself
real
in the mirror
question.
after doing something? Yeah, he got 3 stars.
Yeah.
He would have got 4 if it gave me more of the first 10 minutes for 15, 20 minutes. Because trust me.
Well, there's always showgirls.
Wow. Anyway, so there was to be fair, J-Lo stood out, which is very surprising because, as Giles has mentioned, her acting ability is poor. However,
Very, very poor.
Really?
However, it wasn't. I thought that she acted like this in Made in Manhattan, and the reason why I'm harping on about this film is because when you don't want to watch a film, but you want to put a film on, and you want to be, when you was doing your love and basketball and your save the last dance behavior, but you had to have a different alternative. That was a good alternative, and I saw her in that, and it could be put on, so that was good. Now, about the rest of the film.
Man just took J-Lo out of it, rated it, and now he's gonna talk about it. Love that.
I didn't really like the scenes in the strip club because I was kind of like, so this is how the strip club world. So you have to pay off the people. All right, cool. But what's next? Like them getting regular jobs. What happened to the rest of them? How did the other three of them get caught up into doing the drug in life? I was like, that's a bit weird. Like I don't understand how you get from dancing to wanting to drug someone to make money without a path. So I was missing the path.
Mm-hmm. So you wanted a bit more depth. I
wanted depth for that part.
I can agree with that.
I did like the soundtrack.
Yeah, but remember that the game has changed.
Oh no, I repeatedly understood the game has changed because obviously when the Russian strippers came in and I was like, bruh,
They took the game back to where it was.
You're not excited, man. Trust me.
That was the next game. That was the real game.
That was mad. But I was just I missed that part and I just wanted. I don't know who I wanted it from. I don't know. Yeah, I think I wanted more stripping. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just say how it is.
If there was more stripping, you'd give it 4 stars. You could have said that in 2 sentences.
Straight 3 stars from Amari. Gilo, star rating.
Yeah, like I said, this film, I wasn't at all interested, and I've done this before with films, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised again. Stripping is something like I've got no interest in it whatsoever. Yes, I've been to a strip bar.
Gentleman's Club.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for giving me that correct term. I've been to a gentleman's bar, but it's. I just think they're pointless. I'm going to pay you to take your clothes off.
To be fair, it sounds wild.
Like it's a
To be even more honest, I can do that myself for free, mate.
Exactly. Look in the mirror. Why am I paying you to take your clothes off? Like,
Put a tune on, dance as I'm doing it.
For me, it's just the craziest concept. However, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I like the story. I like the fact that it was based off a real, something that actually happened.
It always adds another sense of
as opposed to just
a make-believe story.
Yeah, like just random characters. But these it's when they say based off a true story, there's always going to be embellishment and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
but still, and then I did a bit of reading about the actual article and the fact that it's not only kind of Wall Street guys that get caught up in these scandals. A lot of sports, especially in America, like NBA players, NFL players, they get caught up in all this mad world that kind of doesn't seem to have any kind of, like you said, Carl, there was no really serious ramifications of their actions because it's like everyone's kind of doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing anyway. There's police officials that get, politicians, all the rest of it. So I thought it was a good kind of insight into that world. I didn't really think the film was going to be about that. So for me, it's a solid 3 stars.
3 stars. Yeah, and do you know what? I'll just get out now. 3 stars for me as well. For me, it was all the things you've mentioned, but to answer your question, Carl, and obviously we didn't say too much like negative about it. There wasn't much negative we said earlier on about the film. My only reasons as to what maybe, I won't even say 5 because the 5, that's a different realm, but for a 4 star, I think it's like Amari said, I would have wanted a bit more depth, bit more character exploration, and maybe some sort of present day / what happened after you've done all of this. Like even, for example, off the top of my head, Pain and Gain. Similar sort of thing with not as much flashbacks, but it's like you see what happens. They do all this mad stuff, but then at the end of the film, it's only like a quick scene. But I think David Lugar, I think his name is, the main guy that Mark Wahlberg plays, he gets the death sentence and The Rock gets like a life imprisonment. So there was still some sort of, and then you get this is based off a true story, and then you love when they show the real photos at the end and all that. So that kind of stuff for me, if they'd done something similar.
Of characters for that film.
Yes, they did.
They merged a lot of characters.
Michael Bay to really, again, it's that embellishment.
Good film, though.
Very good. Very good.
About Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
Nah, if they did the pictures at the end, I feel like you swear, because when you watch a film, pictures at the end, they sell the film a lot. It's as a wrap up. You're like,
it does.
Oh, what does this person look like? Because I remember even before we came here today, I watched Coach Carr, and I remember at the end of the film, on the DVD version, it shows the pictures of all the different people, how they actually looked, and sort of, it's like, oh, this is actually not bad. character looking kind of matching.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
those kind of, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing at the same time.
And that
Especially
is
if you're talking about a true story.
Yeah,
Well, this
if
is
you're,
it.
if
Yeah,
you're basing
this
on
is
the
it.
true story.
But Pain and Gain, they look completely
Yeah,
different.
I know.
I mean,
There's a lot of embellishment in
There
Pain
is.
and Gain.
But it
It's
worked.
a lie.
It worked.
But it worked.
It did work.
so I say all of that to say, had there been a little bit more in terms of like the link between the sort of the real story, that would have pushed up for me. Yeah, J-Lo, this is probably one of her best performances that I've seen.
One
I
of her
think
best performances.
I
Made
think
in
Out of
Manhattan
Sight is her best performance.
I need to see. I haven't seen it, so
Classic. That's actually a classic
Oh,
film.
yeah,
I'll definitely
talk
watch.
about that again.
I'll
I
definitely
told you,
watch.
Made in Manhattan is the best performance. I already told you why.
but that's only.
Hang on,
that's
can I just?
all I can
Can
go
I
off.
just? Are we really debating
J-Lo.
J-Lo's best?
Yes.
Those movie review guys.
What is anyway?
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
it must be Halloween.
I
It
watch,
is.
you know, no. Respect Made in Manhattan. You know, Ralph Fiennes can act.
Yes.
Ralph.
Is it Rafe or Ralph? I hear Ralph.
I hear Ralph.
Ralph.
I hear Ralph from that.
It's rough, yeah.
Right.
But-
You can say Rafe, but anyway.
Anyway, so for that reason, as I said,
Man, sent waves.
I missed that one. What was that?
I caught that slide. That slide.
I'm
one
a
there.
quiet guy.
You're not.
I am.
can I just get
Hashtag.
my stars out, please? I just want to press this button and move on. You know.
Push it.
Thank you.
Push the
TMRG
button.
star rating for Hustlers
Push
is
the button.
3 stars, and that's a tune, by the way. That is a tune. Can I just?
Trust me, we're not playing with sugar babes. I listen.
Sorry, just a little caveat on Ralph Fiennes. If you say Ralph Fiennes, you're wrong. His name is Welsh. It's pronounced Rafe Fiennes. Just wanted to get that out.
That's good. That's good.
Just wanted to get that out.
That's
there.
good for Ewan, Evan,
Yeah.
whatever all them other Welsh names are. But I'm not Welsh,
Yeah,
so
well,
it's Ralph.
Just saying. It's Rafe.
Beat Queens in here, mate.
R-A-F-E.
Charles, did you got a question?
I have. I've got a query. So this is a film about strippers. Yeah?
I love these questions.
This is a film about strippers, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, how did we go the whole film with J-Lo stripping, but she was fully clothed? How does that work?
So you didn't see J-Lo stripping? You missed the first 10 minutes.
missed
There you
it.
go.
No.
You missed it.
She stripped in the first 10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Fully stripped.
Of course not.
not-
Behave
no.
yourself.
It's a
And it's
15,
not
man.
then. No. If we're stripping, then we're stripping.
This is not.
If we're stripping, we're stripping.
This is
It's not
We're
18
stripping.
though.
Hey,
It's
bruv,
not
this
18.
is not.
Stripping, we're stripping.
This is not blackjack.
we're stripping,
This is
we're
not
stripping.
blackjack with a bowl. Heading
you know
home
what?
stripping.
But you know what?
Just
It's a
because
good
you've
thing.
seen, just because you've seen her do like, she probably did like some slow seductive dance.
Nah, you need to watch
Hey,
that.
listen.
I'm telling you.
But you
I'll get
know
the
what?
scene up now. You know I can.
But you know what?
Nah, that scene.
I'm glad. I'm
That
glad.
scene,
I'm
man.
You get
glad
to
he
see
didn't
that.
actually see that scene, because by you saying that, I know that when it got to the end of the dance, he would have stood up and gone, "This is nonsense. I want my money back. Get me a refund. I've seen nothing. No flesh. There's more flesh on my wrist."
So did you actually see anything?
Man said he's whole.
Nah,
No,
it's a
yeah,
15.
You
It's a
saw
15.
enough. You saw enough.
You
I saw
enough.
everything I wanted to in my mind.
Anyway, my question's still.
Alright, to be fair, no, say that.
Hang on,
Lizzo was doing a
I'm
lot
just gonna
with her
find my
clothing.
Ray Fiennes. Let me see what he reckons.
Right. I'm sorry to do this. I'm sorry to do this.
Sorry, don't be sorry.
I'm sorry to do this, and I know he's not. Wait, anyway, let's get to it.
just
Let's get to
get on
it.
with
The way look at Carl's face.
Confused right now.
Oh, there.
Film number 2 we're going to talk about today on the episode is The Kitchen. Released September the 20th, 2019, directed by Andrea Berloff. In this, we had Melissa McCarthy as Kathy Brennan, Tiffany Haddish as Ruby O'Carroll, Elizabeth Moss as Claire Walsh, and Domhnall Gleeson as Gabriel O'Malley. The wives of New York gangsters in Hell's Kitchen in the 1970s continue to operate their husbands' rackets after they are locked up in a prison.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Hey!
Giles, were you entertained?
No.
Amari, were you entertained?
Hell no.
Sorry, I just didn't get that thing, man.
Hell no.
Okay. Kyle, were you entertained?
No.
I don't
We
believe
tanked.
it.
We tanked.
Full house again. Was not
We're
entertained.
doing so well. We're doing so.
You know what? I think I can kick this one off with one line. The Irishman's coming out this year.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not really gonna go into this for too long.
I actually have a lot to say.
You haven't looked at. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what.
Well,
Let me get what I was gonna say.
When I say
out.
that to say, I mean at 4 minutes maximum. That's the including star
4
rating.
minutes?
That's including star rating.
3.5 minutes longer than anything I've got to say, isn't it?
Yeah, this was a disappointment. One thing that this film made me realize is that I really, really love crime films.
That done properly.
Yeah, but all right, to give the film its justice, the cinematography of this was pretty decent. The first scene when it started, you've got the sort of New York skyline. Bro, I was right back. I was right back in the States.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was right back in the States. And
Even
then,
though it's set in an era gone by.
but that as well, another thing that this film made me realise, one of the positives was that I love watching films that are set in the 70s, set in the 80s, looking at how life was different, looking at the shops, looking at the vehicles, looking at the fashion, the music. That was another good thing about this film. The soundtrack of this I thought was pretty good as well. Outside of that, yeah, bro, boys, I think it's time we enlist in some acting classes and make our way to Hollywood, because this film was boring, man. Very, very boring. Crime, drama, and there wasn't much crime. And there wasn't really any drama either. So, yeah, it just, within half an hour, 40 minutes, I was just like, wow, I'm actually really not interested in this. Do you ever get that feeling when you're watching a film and you can feel yourself like, I'm trying to watch this. I'm really trying to get into this, but it's not doing it. I think the performances were, for me, what just killed this. And they weren't even that bad, but they were just so bog standard, so bland. The storyline as well was a bit poor. Nothing really happened, I felt, in this film. Shout out to Common, though. Common gets a bomb.
Nah, he doesn't get a bomb.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
Why?
Because
No,
he
it
should
doesn't.
not even be associated with this.
He knows better.
Bad career choice.
He
Why
knows
do you say this?
He
What are your
no,
reasons for this?
He does a lot of cameos, and
Yeah.
usually the cameos he does are all on point. Like, I'm not asking him
Yeah.
to do a whole film. If I'm asking him to do 15 minutes, or like what he did in that film, like
Yeah.
what he did in John Wick 2, legitimate cameo. Didn't say a lot of words, but I was like, all right, cool.
So what-
I'm not
what
cussing
killed
you. But when
it for this then?
no, I haven't finished. When I saw him in Street Kings, I was like, legitimate cameo. Now when I watch him do this, this disrespect of a film.
Oh, it was all right, though. I mean, look, he didn't have much to say or
Hey,
do.
listen, I was
He
slapping
done
him
what he
with my
needed to
toe.
do.
I was slapping with my pinky toe in his eye and say, you don't even deserve to go blind.
Was he not allowed to get a little pocket money as well? Nah?
His acting wasn't good enough to get pocket money. The film wasn't good enough to get
thought it
pocket
was
money. Hey, listen, yeah. I see Tiffany Haddish. I'm like, oh, she's supposed to be funny.
She's not funny.
Wait. I said she's supposed to be. I didn't say she was.
fuck's
Listen to the
sake.
words I'm using. Supposed
Sorry.
to be.
But even Melissa McCarthy, I was very...
No.
but I was surprised to see her in this,
Oh,
because I
because she was trying
like,
to act.
Right.
Yeah.
So you did. So Melissa McCarthy, what's she known for?
Comedy.
What's Tiffany Haddish known for?
Comedy.
So this film is supposed to be a gangster film.
Gangster
man.
comedy.
Yeah, like,
you know what?
doesn't
It's supposed to be a
work.
don't be a menace kind of film. You know.
Well, there wasn't.
but
It
it
should have
wasn't
went that route of the comedy.
But there wasn't enough gangster shit, and there wasn't enough
But it's-
comedy.
but
This
it's
is-
what-
Wait, there was comedy.
That's what the problem was.
Well, exactly. And the joke is, this is another one of these films that I'm looking through my phone and I'm looking through my notebook and I've got fuck all to say about it. It's one of it's. Yeah,
Straight over.
Yeah. And
Waste
the thing
of
is,
life,
I don't want
man.
to sound like a sexist or misogynist, but
The Irishman's out. The Irishman's out this
should
year.
they have stayed in the kitchen? Like it's ridiculous.
Mad.
It's ridiculous.
No, it was poor. It was very, very poor.
Like I get why they kind of made this film, but it.
Why did they make this
No,
film? I don't get why they made this film.
No.
Why do you think they made this film, G?
Honestly,
Because, and that's what I'm saying. For me, it's
the
like
feminists?
Women empowerment.
you reckon.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Not afraid to say so.
And you know what made me confused? Because I thought this was a real film. I thought it was like a real story. So after I watched the film,
no, this could no.
wait. Let me finish because I thought,
No, I thought the same.
I
You thought as well?
Yeah, because I thought you're not going to make a film that
Yes.
doesn't make no sense in terms of,
And
and I'm
exactly.
missing the storyline. It's not a storyline I've heard
Yeah.
before. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a true story. So I was like, oh, went on
Listen,
Google.
if you want to do,
and
if
I
you-
was like,
for me,
oh, this is not it.
for me, if you want to do like a historical film about women empowerment when women are taking the place of doing stuff that men have done, you should have just done something on World War II.
Yeah.
So when the men were away fighting wherever it was,
Yeah.
you could have done
Setting
that.
up shop,
Yeah, like,
defences.
exactly.
No,
you know,
you're right.
Doing all the jobs that traditionally men would like that would have been much better, more credible. But
But to say that though, like the premise of this film, for me, I thought was good. It was different. And when something's different, straight away I'm interested. You're doing something, you're telling a story that we've seen, or it's got that theme that we are all fond of. What are you gonna do that's different? Bruv, there was nothing. There was
there was a difference. The woman hitman, because I thought her aspects of her role, of her performance, was okay.
I agree with that.
Was okay.
I agree with that.
But she had no lines, and if you ask me what her name was, I won't tell you because I don't know.
Bruv. And then outside of that, no, because I agree with you, because her character out of all of them,
her character was interesting.
Was the most
because
interesting.
it's the way that was character development for her.
And then her exit
Who's
from the film.
The killer one.
Yeah, the killer one. Her exit
from
was
the
so
film
annoying.
Was so random.
Because Michael didn't want to kill the boy that you knew runs through the. I was like, what?
It was a myth. It was a myth. I was watching this and I just thought, as I say, 45 minutes in, I just got so confused as to what's actually when your brain, because you're watching a film, like I'm watching a film, I'm reading, I'm taking in, I'm soaking up, I'm thinking, I'm trying to work things out. But they didn't do enough to buy me and then make me invest into the film, and then they just started doing random stuff. Like Haddish's turn was just a joke.
No, the thing is, you saw it coming.
I didn't.
No, because I saw it because I was like, I'm not gonna lie. In those times, you're not famous, so I don't know why you're with a white person. So there's something wrong here. So that's I was like.
Oh, so you clocked on.
So that's what I'm saying.
Say it again.
If she's not back in those days, like 70s, 80s, if you're black and you're with a white person,
so the
you're famous. You're famous.
Their relationship, their marriage, even didn't make any sense.
You're not gonna deal with someone out of your race.
It made no sense.
There's no unless you have a hidden agenda. There's no other reason.
It made no sense.
You're smart. I just took it for what it was.
It was so juxtaposed against everything else. It didn't make any sense.
Because no one respected her, but she was friends.
But for some reason, she didn't really love this guy, but she was still with him.
Well, to be fair, I mean, speaking of that, was it his mum? Was that the mum?
No. Oh, I don't know.
The mum gets the bomb.
Oh, the mum that was
the older lady.
And the way she got killed for her death. That was my favourite scene.
We'll take that now. Yeah, I'll say that as well. We'll get them out early. We'll get them out early.
You stupid woman. How do you think it's open in a month?
No, it was. The restaurant's not open. Whatever she's. Yeah, that was my favourite scene. We might as well get the favourite scenes out.
There's favourite scenes in this? Carl, do you have a favourite scene in this?
No.
The worst thing is, I don't think Carl's even smoking because he wants to get it done.
This is what I'm saying. Let's just get to the story.
No, it was just confusing. Yeah. It was a really confusing film.
Now, do you know what? I know why Carl's not talking, because he's literally just sitting there, and I'm looking at his notes, and he's just got it in massive letters. He just got one word.
Rubbish.
Kyle, am I lying?
No, I've got, the big capitals I've got is about that twist.
What
did you think of it?
Oh, at the end.
That's one of the worst things I've seen.
What, when they started working against each other?
What, in the shop?
Haddish.
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Where did
She's working with Common.
What?
Yeah.
But that wasn't a twist.
No, that wasn't a twist.
It was a twist.
But did you see it?
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see
He's
it.
been pursuing her. All of a sudden now he's working with her.
I told you the film was so bad, that story. I told you.
For the benefit of the listener, Carl has got his head in his palm and he's just stressed.
And you know when he's in that position, it's peak, because
it's peak.
Carl's always got something very articulate and very smart to say. So when a man doesn't know what to say.
I don't understand how you don't thought it was a twist. You know, I don't usually see twists. I usually get confused and I'm like, oh, what's going on? This is one of those times where I knew what was going on, and that's a bad thing that I know what's going on, because I'm always blind with blinkers.
Yeah,
but I was like, nah, something's not
right.
right.
Should I tell you why? Because I don't typically expect this style of film to have a twist. This wasn't a thriller. This was
it
just
didn't
a
need
drama.
to have a twist.
Exactly.
I agree
So
with
that's
you.
why my capital letters say really. Because it was like, why is this happening?
Is there a question mark? After
Oh, full stop.
Just checking. Really?
Yeah, I was just... this film was just bad. It was just bad. They didn't develop any of the characters.
No, they did. Respect the girl. Respect the assassin.
No, I don't even respect that. because all of a sudden she's a killer.
No, she
but she
went through a bit of training.
Yeah, she went through a few things.
Yeah, she
I
went through
don't
a
know.
bit of training.
It was the way how she was being abused, and then the next scene she was just this boss.
All of them.
Yeah,
All
all of them.
All their husbands went down.
All of them, but particularly her, because she was so passive. How do you turn from that passive person into this?
Here we go. Look, so
the boyfriend was a hitman, innit?
They went from broke to gangsters in about 45 seconds. But it was.
No, it was bad.
You know,
It was.
Another funny conversation that took place was when my man.
There was funny conversation.
Oh no, I didn't say it was good. I said I found it funny.
Oh, okay.
It was when McCartney's husband came out of jail.
McCartney.
Whatever her name is.
McCarthy.
No, she don't get her
McCartney's
name.
who Carl eats.
No, she don't get for this film. She loses
or
for
so
this
he
film.
thinks.
For this film, she loses her name. She's lost her name for this film.
Yeah, it's true, because she wasn't her actual.
We're back to renaming people. I missed that. We haven't done it since episode 6.
McCartney's there with her husband and having a conversation. He's like, "Do you know how hard it is for me to watch you be a boss?" And then the conversation's like, "I'm gonna kill him." And I was like,
But so I'm saying we need to make our way to Hollywood, you know. On
Anyway,
that
star
subject,
ratings.
on that subject, I think I wrote as well. I don't give a monkeys about Jimmy or his kids. But the whole listen, one
Even those
person,
gangsters,
no, but
so stereotypical,
ridiculous.
so generic,
ridiculous.
Generic
A lot of overacting.
"No,
dialogue.
a lot of overacting.
was the leader?
Yeah,
the son
that
who got
scene
killed
was
by the
horrible.
assassin."
Yeah,
It was horrible when they went to ask him for money.
yeah.
One guy that I did like though was Alfonso Coretti. I liked him.
Is he the Italian
But
boss?
yeah, he was the Italian boss.
No, I didn't like because it was generic for me. It was the typical. All right, this is the Italian guy. These are the lines he's gonna say. It was just typical.
No,
there
but
was
did you
nothing
not?
there.
Did you not get a bit? Because I got a bit of comedy from him. So he was quite he was intimidating, but he had a smile in his face, and he was a bit cocky with it. So when they sat down, and obviously they was out of their depth, and then he's gone. They're having a back and forth, and they said something like, "Oh well, we killed the Jewish guy," and I think he turned around and said, "If we have a dick measuring contest, I'm gonna win."
Yeah, I wrote
obviously,
that down.
yeah, because obviously he's the big boss in it. I kind of got that bravado.
No,
I
I liked that line, but that was it. But
Right, I'm trying to-
outside of that, do you know the only thing I did like, which I can't
The
think
only
of in
thing.
any film, is seeing a Jewish gangster proper in
Oh,
the
you
full
talking about the one?
Jewish attire.
You talking about the one in the shop and they tried to hustle him and he was like he weren't having it.
Yeah, I've never really seen that in film.
True.
A Jewish gangster, and then that started making me
Isn't
think
Meyer Lansky a Jewish gangster?
he is, but he doesn't wear the full
I hear what you
Jewish
mean, like a
get
full-
up.
yeah.
And that made me think.
Orthodox Jew.
Yeah, like.
But that's what
There's a conspiracy in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, me and Amari have done our favourite scenes. Giles, Carl, what were yours? Or most memorable, if you haven't got favourite ones?
No.
Wow.
Nothing.
No.
No, you got to pick something. Those are the rules.
That's
do I
it.
need to-
Memorable.
What's the one thing? What about the bathtub? I thought that was quite.
when they were chopping up the body.
Oh,
yeah,
what
we'll go with that.
teaching?
Yeah. Carl, what about you?
I was like, I didn't
That was
care.
easy. Yeah, the fact that she
What learning?
yeah,
Learning
it was
arts and crafts.
It was
Arts and
like
crafts.
this innocent, like shy, diminutive.
And she's like, how do you stab? How do you stab?
Now she's proper on hacking up bodies in bathtubs,
and it was
casual.
it was the description from I think his captain was Gabriel O'Malley, the hitman that came
Yeah.
back. It was the way that he was talking about it. Like, I don't know about you, man. Whenever you're in these films, you hear about what, like, 'cause, I mean, I always think you watch documentaries, you think, well, how do they actually chop up a body, or how do they do this and that? So when you get a character who's actually going, right, you do this.
This is what you need to do
cut
in
that-
this order. Do it like this.
I'm a bit- I've got-
Don't do
yeah.
that because that
cut
released
through
that
this
artery,
cartilage and
and all that.
I'm a bit gruesome. Like, I like that kind of shit. So when he was actually going in, he was like, no, use the strong knife because I liked that. So
Yeah. We'll go with a bathtub.
Yeah, I'll give
I
you a
said,
scene.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, when I haven't got notes on anything, you need to give me.
that's not a problem. I've got the ammunition. Kyle, most memorable.
I'm gonna go with what you lot said.
Which one?
No, but that was no.
Giles one of
Wait,
Her pushing the mum down the stairs. That was actually funny.
It was funny.
That was
though.
actually
Like,
funny.
It was.
No, it was the way she said, it's closed,
I
you
know.
idiot.
Idiot. It was
And then rolled up to the funeral. We're like, oh, I don't know how she died. And it was
clothing.
like, we know how you died. You killed her.
In bright clothing.
in bright clothing at the
Didn't
funeral.
care.
Star ratings.
Have I not wanted to hear that bell?
Wait,
who's gonna-
how long is this segment? Because it's actually.
There's nothing else to say.
There isn't anything else
There's
to say.
so many better films to watch.
Wait. Is anybody going to give it more than 1 star? All right, that's it. 1 star. Do the thing. Done.
Wow. First time ever.
I've got a rating. I've got a.
Oh, you got a rating.
Yeah, go on.
It is 1 star.
He doesn't understand.
You know what? There's always one in it. You'll be like, right, we're going to do this. Wait.
We're going to do it properly.
Wait.
If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly.
Wait.
Yeah, but we're all saying 1 star. No, do it
We
properly.
need to
And then you're
say,
like,
Carl, go on.
give
What's
our
your
reasons
rating?
away.
1 star. Look, he's nodding because he knows.
Yes. We still need to give the reasons why.
No, we don't.
Let
him have his reasons.
Well, do you know what? You're the only one that's going to give reasons because
It's true. 'cause
I'm just going to piggyback off you.
yeah, blatantly.
All right.
Yeah, you say you did a fire, and we'll be like, yes.
All right, cool.
Burn,
So-
emoji, burn.
This film was an absolute shambles. Let's start with the acting. Poor performances from all 3 leads. However, Tiffany Haddish was the worst.
By far.
All she did was scowl throughout the entire movie. And now she is officially on watch.
Oh, no,
Nah, see, I'm going to stop you there.
No,
I'm
she's
going to
on
stop
watch.
you there.
she was on watch before this. though.
She was
Nah.
never off watch.
No.
She was never, what was she? What did she do? that was good?
I gave her a
From
play. I
what
gave
film?
her a
What
play.
film have you watched?
On
That you've
what?
been? What film?
The first film that I saw
What
in
film was that?
Girls Trip.
Nah.
No?
Carl,
Nah.
she's
Yeah,
playing.
find it.
Tiffany Haddish strikes me as someone who is acting even when she's not acting. Like she's just being herself. She's not.
She is, but there's other comedians that get away with that.
Yeah, but
So-
she's now getting away with it.
No, but now she's not getting away with it.
Well, no. Well, yeah. Now everyone's
This was her first foray into actual acting, and it was bad.
Yeah, all 3 of it, as you say, the leads, terrible.
It was bad.
Not one good performance in this film.
And again, like
You tried to give Common a good performance. I don't know what you're.
No, I didn't say you did a good performance. I said I'd give him a pat for being in the film, getting some money. He done the job that he was.
whoa, hold on.
You're getting ratings for getting pocket money.
It's common.
You're getting ratings for getting
It's
pocket
common.
money.
Common's allowed.
We've sat here
Common is
and
allowed.
You have had a go at man like Idris Elba, and you said greed.
Yep.
You said greed.
Yep.
And
And
Common
now you're saying
same thing.
Common.
I'll explain why.
Nah, you missed the
Please tell
film
me.
that he was good in, where he done a cameo.
Smoking Aces.
Nah, The Informer.
film. I
Haven't seen it.
Yes,
haven't
which
seen
We
it.
didn't watch
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
but that
But
was a
that
very
herein lies
serious
my
film.
point. There are more good. Common is giving us.
There are better.
Yeah,
You was going to say more good.
I was. But then I stopped. But then I went back. I remembered that I'm sitting next to an English teacher. No, Common has given us a lot of good performances and good cameos, as
Right.
you mentioned, as we've just mentioned
Right.
there. Therefore, yes, he didn't have an amazing performance in this film, but I personally felt that the job he did, anyone could have done, but he did it well. That's all I was saying.
Is that to say because
Everybody else was so
the
bad.
work was so bad from
That he looked
maybe-
good.
But hey, listen, a win's a win. And if everyone else is flopping and they're making you look good doing
Yeah, I
something, you're not
suppose.
doing
Yeah,
that
I
great.
get
The
that.
issue is not necessarily with his performance, is that he chose to be in this film.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
That's
You've got-
poor.
you've got to
no,
be-
that's
no,
true.
I
No,
mean,
you have to
wait,
take
wait,
responsibility.
oh,
You're
wait,
right.
wait.
As an
You
actor,
have to
you've
take
got to be, you're going to
responsibility.
get sent
Okay,
scripts.
wait.
You know,
See, you're right, but you know what I realized? The script's actually good.
is it?
No. Okay, put it like this. I don't think I've ever seen a film where there's 3 lead women being crime bosses, and
I'm
one's
not
being
doing any crime.
No, but okay, that part, is a great patch. But I mean, if you got the flesh script, the bone skeletons.
Yeah.
You got 3 lead bosses. There's a twist that you're sleeping with one of the bosses, and that you lot are trying to take power for being criminal and stuff. That, in theory, that's like interesting.
The seeds were
In
there.
theory, yeah.
In
The
theory,
seeds were there.
Yeah, but when you got the script now, you need to be sick, or you have
This
to have
film-
other arrangements.
This film is put into the action, crime, drama.
but no comedy. It should be comedy because it's so
Genre.
bad. It
There
should be
was no
comedy.
action.
No, it's comedy.
There was no, and like you said this already, there was no action. You said there was no crime, no drama, no comedy. There was no action as well. You can add that to the list. Like,
It
what
literally
this?
was just. Have you got the running time there?
It wasn't even that long. It was only about
It weren't that
93
long.
minutes. I
Well,
think
let's say it was
No,
just
it-
93 minutes
it felt
of
long.
nothing. But anyway, Carl, sorry to interrupt your wrap up.
Yeah, the plot was rushed and ridiculous and
102
unnecessary.
minutes, sorry.
Twist at the end has to be one of the worst I've seen in films.
Agreed.
Tone was all over the place. I didn't have a clue whether I was meant to be laughing or taking it seriously. The music, they couldn't even get that right. It hit an
Arguable.
all-time low
Arguable.
when the credits rolled at the end.
Oh, right. No.
What theme tune
I'm
did
not
they play?
having that. I'm not having that. No, I'm
They
not having
played
that.
the
chain.
Top Gear
Yeah, the
tune.
chain. Fleetwood Mac, the chain. That's bruv.
No,
How did it fit with the film?
exactly. The Top Gear theme tune.
Yeah, but how did it fit? Listen, Mr. DJ.
No. That track, regardless of how it fits with the film, it's a track. No,
but how
it's
does
a
it fit with the film?
Forget the film. The
can't
credits are
leave them
rolling.
You
The
can't-
credits are rolling.
No. You can't.
If you're gonna
I'm
leave-
with Carl on that. You can't just put a good piece of music to a shit film and expect that makes it better because it's a good piece of music.
I didn't say it makes it better. I just said he put some
How does it
respect on
fit?
that track.
No,
It's that's all I'm saying.
We're not saying
saying
that.
the track's bad. We're saying the track's a banging track.
you make
What we're saying, but why? Carl, you're not asking why.
Yes.
Why?
Why would they play the
Why have you
Top
done
Gear
that? Why have you
theme
done that?
tune?
Why have you done that?
At the end credits.
Why have you
Top
done
Gear
that?
theme tune.
Living in the net.
That was ridiculous.
Hey, anyway.
Okay. On a side note,
on that bombshell, 1 star.
On a side, yeah, exactly.
So that
On a side note, you're putting together our trip of the video of our trip.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't be putting, and we spoke about this literally yesterday.
Yeah.
You was like, send. I can't be sending. You can't be putting in random tunes just because they sound good. It's got to be relevant to what we're watching.
True.
There was no relevance.
I could see relevance. That bit that he's talking about, it's got that sort of, it gives that sort of go feel. It's kind of like
No.
movement and a bit of excitement.
The only relevance,
And I get that. I get that.
The only relevance that I can see, and this is at a push. I'm reaching here. So they use the Top Gear music because Top Gear got taken off TV and the film finished. So that's about the only connection I can see. Yeah,
You know, he's got to piece together.
yeah. Like I'm trying to see it exactly.
Okay then, so we're giving The Kitchen a TMRG star rating of 1 star. Any questions on that, Giles?
No,
or?
I'm just doing a little kind of nosing around, about budgets. Yeah, bit budgets and stuff.
Yeah, what was the budget
The
for
budget
this?
for this was 38 million.
That sounds a lot.
Wow.
Who
That is
sanctioned
high.
that?
You know, I told
Yeah.
you.
Who
I told you.
that?
The skeleton sounds good. The
has sanctioned
I
that?
told you the skeleton of the film sounds good. So
But
you see how
even more crazy.
It must be the set pieces.
Even more crazy. So the opening US box office was 5.5 mil. Yeah.
that's
The
mad.
gross for the USA market was 12.1 mil.
Oh my
So wait, are you
I
saying?
haven't finished. The cumulative worldwide. price.
Wait, back, sorry.
Hold on. So bearing in mind, so we've gone. It cost estimated 38. Yeah, it made 5.5 in the first weekend. Across America, 12.
That's mad though.
Cumulative
12.
worldwide, 15.8.
So he made 3 million worldwide.
Nah, that's a lot.
That's saying a lot.
You know what?
That's saying a lot.
Listen, man went to the office on Monday and certain desks were cleared.
Getting sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning.
You know what?
that is
I
bad.
fully
We're talking
believe
about bad business decisions.
this is a comparison of The Mummy.
Yeah, this is.
Ooh, is it in? Is it?
It's in the
It's
dot
in the
category.
vault.
No. I don't
No.
think it is.
I don't agree
Are we
with
not-
you
are we
with
not-
your
are we-
rating of the Mummy.
Okay.
But are we
No,
killing?
Mummy's out on its own.
Are we killing off?
there
Are we
is it.
killing off the kitchen? Is the kitchen officially dead?
Listen,
It's
Oh,
done.
it's in the category.
the kitchen's in the wheelie bin outside, mate. That's where the
gosh.
kitchen
Not
is.
even the recycled version either.
So with that out of our system, let's go into film number 3, Ready or Not, released September the 25th, 2019, directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olphin and Tyler Gillett. We had Samara Weaving as Grace Ladomas, Adam Broney as Daniel Ladomas, Mark O'Brien as Alex Ladomas, and Henry Cherney as Tony Ladomas. A bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Hey!
Kyle, were you entertained?
Yes.
Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Because I knew it was going to be going off today.
Ooh,
Were you entertained?
I was.
Was you?
Were you entertained?
Ever so slightly.
So you were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ever so
Boys,
slightly.
Can we just clap every
It's
single?
the first time, isn't it?
This is mad. But I'm saying ever so slightly. Mine's
No, because we don't do slightly.
Okay, so
We do
yes, I
or
was.
no.
Yes, I
Okay.
was.
We on in the team.
But the reason being, The reason, probably why I was so entertained, because I watched this just after watching The Kitchen. So even if I'd watched even if I watched Aladdin again, I'd have probably been entertained. Let's just.
Okay.
Man said because he watched another film that was so bad before.
Nah, you
this
gotta
film
put
had
more
to be
respect.
good.
Respect on-
Put-
put
like,
more
this film-
respect on this film.
gets respect.
Yes, it does indeed.
Respect. You know what? I'm gonna start. You know why? Because when I saw Ready or Not, I thought it was gonna be juju, and there was elements of juju. However, it was the correct kind of elements. There was no Chucky doll. There was no ridiculous spirit. There was just some stupid people.
It was a ridiculous spirit.
Hey, it wasn't ridiculous in the film.
There was a ridiculous
Yeah, but I said ridiculous in the way it was portrayed.
And we'll get to star ratings, but I'm just telling you from now, as much as I was entertained, the star rating that I give.
Yeah.
Can I request that Kyle starts with this? Because now, upon watching this, upon watching
this is what
certain
you thought?
scenes, I just started laughing because I thought, oh my God, Kyle's going to have to give a review like Midsummer again. That's all I was thinking.
Oh no, quite the opposite.
What the hell?
And that's why I wanted to start.
Wow.
That's why I wanted to start.
So you rated this over Midsummer?
Oh, by far.
Oh, come on.
It's
for
not
crying
even
out
close.
loud.
Let the man. Right,
This
right.
is
This is what. This
Right,
is
here
how
we
you
go.
do.
Carl.
This is how you're meant to do a film with certain topics.
No.
Come on, give it to us, brother.
It
Give
is.
it to us. I need to hear your review.
What
on
a
this.
way to start a film.
Agreed.
Thrilling, intense,
Intriguing start.
suspenseful.
Yeah. Many questions
wanted
came
to
to
know
mind.
more.
Yeah, many questions
Yeah.
came to mind.
Would you
at the
agree with
start.
that?
Yeah, I'd agree.
So you never got that for Midsummer? Carry on.
No.
'Cause I was what?
No,
So the
no,
dog-
no, we did. No,
wait,
no,
this is
no,
what I
we
mean.
did.
This is what I mean.
We need to put it-
Midsummer was a good opening.
Very good opening.
The opening for Midsummer was better than this for this year.
Suicide you're ever gonna see.
You think?
That was a
What?
very intriguing
Midsummer?
start.
Midsummer. Stop hating. Stop hating.
I'm
Stop.
not hating.
You are.
You had the
found
brilliant film cinematography. Yeah,
And then you had the
then you cut to the parents that you thought they were just sleeping.
Yeah.
And then you see the
Then you had
exhaust.
the long take from the garage right up to. Come on.
I was more entertained with this than that.
No, you're
No,
not
no,
the
but
piss.
no,
that's
that
fine.
scene.
No,
That's
that
fine.
scene, the opening scene, I was more like, oh, I want to know more
No,
with
you're,
this.
you're taking the piss. Okay.
By far, it wasn't even close. Midsummer was a good scene, but it didn't. I wasn't like,
Wow.
oh, I want to know.
You know what? It's
This,
good-
No, I hear that. No, I hear
I was
that.
like, what is going on? I
But do you
want
know
to
why
know
that is?
what
Do
is
you know why that
happening.
is? Because
hates the
purely
film so
because
much.
no. Purely because there was more action in the
No.
beginning of Ready or Not. You're seeing someone running down,
Exactly.
getting stabbed.
You
I
don't
get-
know what is going on.
I get that, but
No.
the beginning of Midsummer
No.
was at the polar opposite in terms of action and
Yes.
immediate.
Slow.
Exactly,
Slow.
but it
Exactly.
still had
Very
the same
deliberate,
effect.
It's okay,
methodical
but the point is
suspense.
that I was more entertained. I'm not
I'm
saying
just surprised.
the
I'm just
opening
very
of
surprised.
Midsummer
Yeah.
wasn't good, well shot, but I wasn't the same level of entertainment.
Okay.
This, I was like, yes.
I can
This
see
is
why.
I love this. I love this already. I love this film.
Nah,
I love this film.
I can't.
Continue. Get
I
into
did.
it. Get into it. Get into it. Because yeah, the start, as I said, I thought the start was intriguing, and just a lot of questions. Obviously, not knowing what the hell this film was about. That eerie track as well. That Ready or Not hide and seek track.
Say Ready or Not's the Fugees.
They actually sampled that as well.
Yeah, I'm just getting the name of the film confused with the track.
That's a strong
You know
L to
what?
take.
I'm alright. You knew what I meant, didn't you?
I know what you meant.
knew what I meant.
I know what you meant. That's a
I'm just
strong.
blocking out.
That's
My
a
mum
strong-
always told me, block out people that laugh at you. If they point and laugh, just if you look at them hard enough, they turn invisible.
Flip's sake.
If I close my eyes and I can't see him, they can't see me.
Wow.
But yeah, that very eerie start. It was a very eerie initiation. I agree with you. Didn't know what was going
Yes.
on. I was immediately
It was
intrigued.
thrilling. And
yeah.
again, this is a film that knew exactly what it was. It wasn't trying to be serious like Midsummer.
I'll give it that as well.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Are you agreeing with that, Amari?
Midsummer was serious, so carry on. If you're gonna
But
do,
remember, he loved
you're
that.
talking,
movie.
you're talking about a guy who loved Midsummer.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's fair enough. But this,
This is
we
not
won't
the-
get into that conversation again. But
Well, the way you're talking about it, we're gonna get into
I
it.
don't
so
want to
carry
think
on.
about that film.
I think we should have a get together and just get on a plane and go to Sweden.
just
No.
eat some mushrooms, eat some mushrooms, and do some speed dances around a wooden pole. But yeah, so Carl, so we got into the film, so we're in the film now. I mean, me personally, I loved the cinematography of this again. Very, very well shot film.
Wait, sorry. If we're talking about after the opening scene, and you get to the wedding, we get to the witch of the auntie or the grandma.
Whoa, don't skip the dads. Don't skip the dads.
The dad wasn't hella bad in comparison to the auntie.
The auntie.
The auntie was rapid. I was like,
The face in it, the
I
scowl.
was like,
The
what's
scowl.
going on? And she's like,
Not even trying to hide
yeah,
it.
she's like, I don't even care about the wedding. Why are you? What are you doing here?
On to man.
Like, listen,
on your wedding day.
Oh no! And this is even before. This is actually in the wedding section. You see the behavior that she's doing. I was like, no, what is going on here? Because obviously, this is where it's great that we don't watch trailers or nothing. Because I was like, what the hell is this woman moving so mad? And I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I'm assuming her face must be in the trailer because the way she was doing them dirty.
The scowl. Yeah. Proper.
But yeah, I was like, no.
There you go. Look in. I've got the aunt's grimace.
It was mad. Anyway, sorry, Carl, continue. That part there, it got me. At the beginning, I was like, and then, and the awkward conversation with the dad, where the dad was like,
he was my favorite character in the film, because I like the way that he would. This leads on to another conversation I was having recently about posh people or people that may be more privileged and whatever than others. It's like things that, in terms of like social circles or levels, whatever, things that maybe people of a lower level may enjoy and may have conversation about, maybe people that in a higher don't. So it leads to the question, like, Get Out. What do people with money do? What do insanely wealthy people do?
It's funny you should say,
because that's what a few of the lines were in the film. The rich, they're different.
Yeah. I got that quote. One of my notes was, this is Get Out for rich white people.
It was I felt a lot of sort of links between, especially when they were outside, and it was almost like obviously
in the wedding scene, in the actual in the pop party part that wasn't the party.
Yeah. Grace is like, obviously she's buying into the family, and you could feel she was the outsider, and the was it Alex was trying so hard to like make her, don't worry. But I had a bit of a problem with Alex though.
He was a problem for the whole film. I thought he was
a conflicted character.
No, he wasn't.
You felt that as
he
well.
wasn't conflicted.
No, he wasn't conflicted.
He was conflicted because the aunt said it more completely created by him. See, the dad said it. The reason why you told her to play the game is because you're still part of the family.
And I got the impression he was damaged. He was damaged goods, leading on to leading from the first scene where we see the older brother saying, quick, get in there.
He was the best character.
Yeah, you got the feeling that, okay, this is, and again, maybe it's because I'm a big brother, but I get the sort of links that little brothers.
Daniel?
Yeah, because Daniel didn't want Daniel did the duty for the family duty, but he didn't feel like, why does my brother need to see this?
But that's what I'm saying. He was an effect of everything the family was doing.
Exactly.
So when you say he was a conflicted character, I didn't feel he was conflicted. I felt, okay, I'm getting the sort of, he's a bit like mad. He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to be outside the family.
You're talking
but
about Alex or the brother?
Alex. I'm talking about Alex.
When he's conflicted within himself.
Oh, you mean, okay, I thought you meant in terms of the actual character.
I didn't
Is that what you thought?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, I didn't find him conflicted. He wanted to be out, but he knew.
But he couldn't.
But he knew he was never going to be out.
Then he's conflicted.
Because the conflict is when you don't want to do something and you don't do it.
That's what I thought.
And if he wanted to, he would have not let her go in the conflict. He would have never let me in that position. He would have died for her. Supposedly, if you're gonna get married to her, I'm not saying I'm getting married or anything like that, but I'm saying if you're gonna die for someone, you're not gonna let them put themselves in a situation where they're gonna die if they don't do something.
Yeah.
You just don't get married.
He was scared.
Yeah.
He was scared.
That was the
But
point.
if he doesn't get married, then there is no film.
Yeah, but then that's true.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
So he was conflicted. Moving on.
No,
He was
conflicted.
He was.
He was a
But the
bitch
point
boy.
is, he ended up being he was a prick.
Yeah, but he was a prick. But he's a bitch boy anyway.
But he was part of the. For me anyway.
No, like even just try to escape. Try to get her to escape. I was like, what? Nah, you can't do that shit.
Yeah, no, for me anyway, he was part of the reason why the film started to drop off. But we'll get there.
Okay.
When I'm talking about the the cinematography.
You know what? Wait, pause. So what we're doing right now is that Kyle's gonna end up basically tell me, he's already said it, that this was better than Midsummer for him. And then what's gonna make me laugh even more is that his ratings looking like it's gonna reflect it with his sound effects that he's doing.
Just to
Listen, I was thoroughly entertained.
This is why I'm like,
whoa.
He used the word thoroughly as well.
thoroughly entertained
He used
by this
thoroughly
film.
as well.
We're not even there yet.
I can't
Slow
believe
down. You moved too fast. What was your rating for Midsummer? Coincidentally,
4.
He gave it 4 stars
right.
somehow.
Right.
You see what I mean? So this guy, so basically,
Wow.
so this guy
I love
is
this
hating
shit.
at Midsummer as dabs every minute.
Wow.
Which actually had content and actually
You were
made
the only
room.
one who liked Midsummer.
No,
It's
but
not just me. Just remember that.
You've got a next hatred for that film.
But Giles did give it 1 star as well.
Yeah, but they both respected
You
the film.
allowed it and gave it
Yeah,
2
but
stars.
they both respected the film and what it was trying to do and what it explained.
What was
I feel like we're in a Royal Rumble right now. There's no sides.
You did it.
Everyone's
And
Ollie onto Ollie. Do you remember that? That's something you don't say like that. Ollie onto Ollie. What does that even mean?
Stop saying
Made up
it.
words, but everybody knows what you're talking about. Straight.
And the way you're talking about, the way you're humming about this film right now.
That's it.
Humming.
Humming.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Carl,
Is it?
no, but continue.
All right,
Continue, because
cool.
I need to get. Because
All
I
right,
mean,
so
all right,
let
all
me
right, yeah.
let me just see if you lot are thinking the same way as I am.
Yeah.
No one is.
No.
No one is. Just so you
What
know.
themes did you get out of this film?
Ooh, okay. To be honest
Family?
with you, yeah, family.
Traditions.
What about family?
Family sticks together.
That's all you got.
Family comes first.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, see? Again, you're not thinking on the level I am, but it's all right.
I am a psychologist of a master degree
let
of
us-
thinking
Paging
of
Dr.
ready
Taylor.
or not.
Dr. Taylor. Dr. Taylor.
Clearly,
Dr.
if that-
Taylor.
if that's-
Sorry,
if-
can you
if-
come to the
if
meeting
all-
room now, please? We have a patient who needs help. Yes, the patient is himself. It's just an island right now.
Dr. Taylor, we got an Arthur Fleck sitting in the waiting room to speak to you.
Carl, please explain. What level were you thinking on?
Not even that much higher, but you have to look at it.
Wait.
No,
Wait.
but you just said that family stick together. I'm looking at it as this is the impact that you have on your kids. Because I'm talking about the little kids that were involved in the game.
Okay.
Okay? Did you not see that
I
impact?
saw that. I've got that further on, but
Oh, what? When you tried to?
Yeah, so when you said, I'm talking about themes, the theme is the impact you as a family have on your kids. Not
True.
your family stick together. That's all you just said.
true, because obviously they were kids and they've grown up into.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a
that
theme.
didn't stick out to me though.
No.
That's a
It
theme.
didn't stick out. It's a
I
theme.
didn't ask
I'm
you
not
what
saying it's
stuck out.
not.
I said, what are the themes you guys saw?
But to me, and I know to use to, that theme was much louder than that. That theme was the obvious theme.
The obvious theme is loyalty and loyalty to the devil. Gonna do to the devil or whatever the thing was called.
Not low, but again,
No, but it was loyalty
Mr.
to
LaBelle.
it. Mr. LaBelle, loyalty
Yeah.
to Mr. LaBelle because they thought.
Mr. LaBelle. Let's look up who played Mr. LaBelle, shall we?
Fuck's
I'll wait. Mr. LaBelle, you're in the room, are you? Sorry to offend you.
Anyway, let look, Carl.
Anyway,
you need to
continue
lead
on
this.
with the
You need
themes.
to.
No,
you
you're
need to
saying-
lead.
No. I want to see what you lot
What else
either
we
did
took from
or
it.
didn't see.
So it was tradition and loyalty. That's the two.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
two
Family,
main
tradition,
themes.
loyalty.
There might
Yeah.
have been other themes, but they got
The main-
embedded.
those are the main
They
themes.
got
Those are the main
embedded in
themes.
because you're saying about the kids and the effects they had. The
Yes, it
little
did.
kids had an effect, correct. However, he was like, I still have loyalty to the family. They both did. The only reason the older brother said it's done now is because he thought it was like, I don't even want to do this. My wife's a crazy bitch because she wants to do this and that's all she wants to do. And she wants to be loyal to the family because she wants to be rich.
Okay, so
And
you
it's-
didn't see anything about faith.
So, faith.
Yeah, well, that's
what-
the obvious. But that's
fa-
obvious.
What
With the whole
faith?
devil
I've
worshipping
asked
thing.
you lot to name me the themes. You lot said, so I said
Yeah, but
loyalty
that's,
and
that's
family.
not a theme,
Yeah,
though.
but that's not a
not a
theme.
theme. I wouldn't say that's
a theme that's running throughout their faith towards this pact that they've made. That's like I'm a Christian.
No,
I've
that's
got
loyalty.
faith towards God.
That's
not a-
loyalty.
that's not a
No,
theme.
that is faith because
That's
they
not a
don't
theme.
actually know
That's loyalty.
whether they are gonna explode.
That's
so they've just
loyalty.
got faith. No, but that's what it is.
Can you just repeat that sentence?
That is what it is.
Can you just say that bit
They
again?
don't actually
No.
know
I'm not gonna
whether
lie.
they're gonna explode.
I want to
There
say
you go.
things
Can I
here.
keep my star
And if I
rating
say
now?
things,
Can I just give my star
nah,
rating?
it's mad. If I say things right, if I say things,
Listen,
if I say things, I
listen.
want to
Wasn't
say.
Clear whether he
Nah.
said it, but he did. Let's just
Wait.
Listen,
No,
hold
the-
fire
faith
because
is
we're
no.
gonna get there,
Faith is
and by
not-
God,
faith
are we
is-
gonna get
Faith
there?
is under loyalty in this conversation.
But this, okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say that faith was a theme.
You were talking
of this
about
film.
loyalty
It
to
was
the
a subject.
family.
Yeah,
It was a subject.
Loyalty to the family.
I can't believe the
loyal
energy
to
that Carl was talking
and
about
the
this.
loyal
I
to
can't
the
believe this.
tradition.
I just can't-
And their tradition is based on the loyalty that they have. They have the faith, but it's merged into the loyalty of the scenario and the family and the tradition they've had.
Yeah, but
Agreed.
But I wouldn't consider faith as-
I'm picking out. To me, it was having faith in something and sticking to that faith.
Okay, but this
That's
is
not what you've highlighted.
Yeah, but
that's not what any of you lot have
Because
highlighted.
that to me wasn't a theme. That
That's
was
a
very
theme.
obvious
But
that they were devil worshippers. Like,
Forget about the
Or-
devil.
or
What it's
some
about.
sort of worship.
The theme
Unpacked.
is faith. The theme is that believing in something that you don't know is true. That's what faith
I'm
is.
not gonna
But
say.
you
I'm
know
not
what?
gonna
Get
say.
what-
I get
and
what you're
having
saying.
and having
I
that
get what
faith
you're saying.
right
It's a
to
reach
the end
to me.
because that faith was making them do crazy things because they really thought
That's true.
they were going. So that's I don't know how you lot don't pick that up.
Okay,
This is what
but
I'm confused
okay,
about.
but you know what?
this is what
this
I
sound
don't
weird.
understand.
It's gonna sound, I don't know how it's gonna sound to you, but that's maybe because you're more of a religious guy than I think us three are.
Yeah,
Because to me, on
and-
surface level, like a very
And you-
from
and-
the scene where he explains the whole games and
Yeah.
he brought out the box and okay, devil worshipping.
But they didn't
ghost,
even they didn't
whatever.
fully explain it as devil worshipping. They just said it as a game. They didn't even
listen,
say.
but listen, in those scenarios when you're watching a film, what's the first thing you're gonna think of? Okay, you worship some sort of demon, you worship some sort of being, you worship some person who's dead and now got. It's all to me. It all comes under one bracket: devil worship. I wasn't picking it up as a theme. I was picking it up as a subject within the film. That's just why.
Well,
when you want to talk
I
about
look
things,
at that as faith.
I get what
I'm
you're
not
saying,
gonna argue with
but
that. I'm not gonna argue with that.
but I'm saying why I feel like you did and us three didn't.
yeah.
Because you have you're more
No,
connected
but
to faith in that
I wasn't.
conversation.
We're not going to go in this is a long
not that-
conversation. But
no,
I
I
wasn't
know.
religious a few years ago. But the
I
point
get-
is not about whether I'm religious or not. It's just I saw that someone is sticking by something which they don't actually know is true, which is faith to me. But
So,
So
outside
on that point, I do get his point.
yeah, outside of the themes, then Carl, what else? Because I mean, as I said, for me, all right, I'll keep this very brief. The cinematography within the house, following Grace,
The house is beautiful.
it was serious. It was
And
very,
even the fact that it
very
was shot,
serious.
obviously the film took place at night, and you got so it's like low level candlelight,
Yes.
you know, old kind of haunted,
Yes.
traditional haunted house.
That house was serious.
It was massive.
Yeah.
Secret passages.
But you felt
immersed in the house.
Yeah, yeah. Even when she leaves it and she goes outside, she's in the sort of patio bit where the wedding was. I love the whole in the day it was, light, white chairs. At night it's very
Like
sinister.
for me, when I was watching it, I thought, we like to go to escape rooms and do that immersive kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
If you was going to kind of book something like that,
Yeah.
They've got something like that in Massachusetts. I read the
Yes,
article, and
yes,
it's the one where you have to do fitness tests and stuff before you go in. I was like,
full psychic evaluation.
Hey, listen,
Sign me up.
It looks mad.
Sign me up. No.
Yeah.
Sign me
Man
not
have
up.
gone gone in and not come out.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Not come out the same.
Yeah, just sign this
Listen.
paper if you lose your
Yeah,
chance.
waiver. When you're signing waivers.
nah, Black Mirror put me off. Playtest.
I haven't seen any of the new
No, that's
episodes.
an old
That's
one.
an old one.
Oh, it's an old one. Which one
Where
was
he
that?
goes the simulation and
He does the
and
computer game.
Yes.
Oh,
and his
yeah,
old
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
And he
yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
And he only survived.
That was in the first
it was
season,
only
wasn't
2
it?
seconds. He was actually in there for 2 seconds.
That's
Mad. But he
Mind
signed away his
blown.
life. So yeah, I'm not on it. I'm not on it.
But yeah, I thought the house was beautiful. And again, I was watching this and I was thinking, yeah, this just reminds me of Midsummer. Again, it was a very beautifully shot film. Obviously, the theme here, it's a completely different theme. Let's not get into it, but it was much easier to digest.
You actually need to because
Yeah,
it is
we
a different
do need
theme
to.
because obviously.
what
Midsummer
did you
was
say?
Midsummer was for me it was a cultural
Yeah.
and this is how they live their life as a cycle.
But
and
I
they
would
do-
say there was more. The theme faith was more apparent in Midsummer.
No, but
than this.
I don't think it was a faith though. For them, it was more of their just culture. Because they didn't. In my mind, I didn't see them
But
pray.
but it was worship. When you're
Yeah,
talking about faith, you're
yeah,
talking about worship.
worship.
Yeah,
So
but
that,
I
for
didn't,
me, that come.
I didn't see them in my mind. I remember watching the film and I was thinking that I don't see them really praying. I just see them more them living away. They feel like okay.
But you
they're-
saw the ceremony. They had a
yeah,
ceremony, right at the end.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not debating that. But I mean, in terms of this had more of a direct link to a faith, whilst Midsummer was more. This is the culture. This is what they believe. This is what they believe in because this is how they've developed and they enjoy their society and it works for them. Whilst this was, I'm just believing in something completely blind
Because I've been told
without
about
theory.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been told about Will Midsummer is it makes sense that you don't want to have when you get too old, you can't look after yourself. So what is the way that you could say you could die with dignity and this is the way that they choose to die? No, but
He loves that bar.
I listen
He loves that bar.
because it made sense to me, innit?
Hammer time.
Never forget.
Real dignity.
Never forget.
Hey.
But on the subject of killing,
Okay, Can we
first
discuss?
killing was
Which one's the
mad.
best killing? Which one's the best
Do you know
one?
what?
Best.
Wait, did you lot guys enjoy the killing scenes then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now you lot are confusing me.
I'm confused. Wow.
The film was mainly about the killing scenes. A bit like Child's Play, you have all these different deaths and the creative ways they can do it.
Yeah.
That's what the entertaining part of the film is.
But we said we were entertained.
We're
We didn't say we weren't
entertained.
Nah, but you're talking very
No,
negatively.
because the way you're talking. No.
Look, I can wrap this up. I can wrap this up.
What did you say earlier on? We're not as thinking as highly as you.
It's true.
We're
We're not on his level.
We're not on a higher level.
We're just
you know.
surface reviewing.
You know, we're just do the surface. We're basic people. You go upstairs
It's a
and do
shame,
the
man.
rest.
What's
It's a
the air
shame.
like up there, Carl? Is it warm?
Yeah, thinner. It's thinner.
Innit?
No, it's probably thick.
Not as much oxygen gets to the brain. But on the subject of killing, I mean, for me, look, I'm not going to say that, you know, because the killing scenes, I think maybe there was a handful, maybe 5 deaths.
The maze, the fact that the maze kept on getting.
Which maid though? Because there was a few maids that died.
Crossbow in the mouth.
That one. No, the one that gave her the gun and she thought she killed her. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, you dumb bitch.
It's true, and on the and on the subject of that, as I said earlier on, there's a little theme in this cast. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, and it's jokes. It's jokes because the minute she was, I don't know if you man clocked. I clocked from
Yeah,
early.
you knew she was a liability.
I clocked
You
from
knew she
early.
was a liability.
The minute
You
she
knew.
comes and introduces, and I think she like rubbed her nose. And like,
She was moving mad.
got the Colombian marching powder.
No, but she was like, I like you. Oh, you're gonna enjoy the family. I was like, liability.
That her character was good. I think it added another
all of the
again
characters were
privileged. You know, not to say that only privileged people do.
Yeah, but that's what
those
it was,
kind of-
again, another theme about the rich.
Yeah, no, that was the main sort of themes for me were, like we said, family, loyalty, and the higher echelon. Mm-hmm. That was what I got. I didn't get the faith thing and all that. But anyway, we've spoken about that. So anyway, the killings I thought were really good. One scene that I really liked was when she goes to the was it like the goat pen or the goat?
Oh, with all the bodies.
When she fell in that pit.
Yeah.
That got me. I was like, ooh, that was a really sort of like teeth clenching.
They've done this before.
Yeah. But it was good. Filmed well with the little boy as well with the gun.
And her having to climb with one hand.
Yeah,
and then
but
the nail.
But
that was tense.
But there was certain.
Hang on, she punched the little boy in the face.
Oh,
right?
she had to do it.
She had to. Oh my word.
She had to.
Hey,
That
listen.
boy-
Did that not remind you? See, when I was watching that, I immediately thought of in John Wick 3 when he's in the stables.
Yeah.
And the guy
And the
gets
horse.
kicked in the
And
face.
in the face.
That's the first thing I
Nah,
thought.
that was horsepower, bro. That's the next.
Nah, but Noah.
Listen,
What man do you know that punches with a force of horsepower?
No, I've decided. I've changed my favorite character. I've now thought about it.
Yeah.
I think he's the fat guy who married in.
Oh yeah. He gets a bomb. Yeah,
He was hilarious.
Yeah.
but that is comedy. The ladies from the kitchen should have taken a few notes out of his book because he was the obvious comedic character, but he done it in a way that was quite light.
And it wasn't
too much,
It was
not
just
too over the top.
But
Fitch Bradley.
It was was it the mum or someone said, no, it was the aunt, innit? I've never liked you. And he was, you know, when she said to him when he was going into the room.
that wasn't the part I remembered. It was the one where he had the phone, learning how to shoot with the crossbow.
Exactly. Exactly.
Relevant.
And I was like,
Yes.
bruh. It's
Go
true
to
because you
YouTube
don't know
for
how you would
everything.
do.
It's true.
Because you wouldn't know how to
Exactly.
shoot.
That's
And
what you would do.
But
That's what I liked about the
no,
film
but
as
what
well.
I found
This is
funny
what
was
I'm
that
saying.
there was in the below him or above him, and he couldn't hear it because he wasn't paying attention to what was going on.
what was
I
going
was
on,
like, you idiot.
Another scene that got me laughing was, and again, it was a lot of realistic moments in this. But you see, when she gets through the gate, let's just give her a few seconds for squeezing through the gate. That was a serious little bit as well. Wow. I was thinking, mad, how'd she get through? But it was when she got through in the car.
When she was in the car.
Get the fuck out of the way! How deep? But all right, let me ask a question. Carl, you're driving home after we finished recording tonight. You're just listening to your music. You're listening to Celine Dion, whatever. And then you're, as you're driving, you see
Why is that funny?
a blood, what appears to be a woman in a wedding dress covered in blood with what appears to be a very bad hand injury, screaming, help me.
Run her over.
Lads, what'd you do?
Run her
so
over.
you're going run her over because you're a zombie guy.
Yeah,
I hear
run her
that.
over.
What are you saying?
I'm just swerving around.
Amari.
I'm being a good Samaritan, you know.
And doing what?
Listen, Listen,
You stopping?
I'm telling you now.
You're stopping.
You stopping?
If you stop,
Nah,
you're
I'm not
dead.
stopping.
If you
I'm
swerve
swerving
around her,
around
she's
it.
finding her way to your yard. No matter if you can live 100 miles away, you run them over, and then you reverse up. You run them over straight. Run them over.
Hey, what you do the reverse afterwards?
And then go again. Go
It's
again.
True. It's true, man. You've lived through too many zombie films,
I've done 10 years
documentaries.
of Walking Dead. Plus, before that, George A. Romero's. Yeah, you run them over.
Mad state of
And
affairs.
on this subject of just giving some shouts out to funny scenes, you know we got to drop a bomb for the butler as well.
Hey, the butler was
he was
You
a
know
joker.
your name and everyone in the film
What do you mean?
as good characters.
Yeah, I know I am.
Yeah,
I know him.
So basically, what I'm
I know
struggling.
where you're going.
I'm-
I know where you're going.
I'm struggling to understand
I had an
why
issue with
you
the
lot
butler.
said.
But I had an
Why
issue-
you lot
I
said.
had an issue with the whole butler thing.
But just to
I just want to know why you lot said.
Yeah.
It's interesting you didn't enjoy Midsummer, but enjoyed this.
Don't worry, because
so I
don't
want to
worry.
understand why that
and
is.
you will understand because anyway, we'll get there. Literally 2 minutes, we'll get there.
He's breathing so
Because
hard.
this
he's
is how you're feeling, Carl. This is how I was feeling watching the film. I was watching
know,
the
know,
film,
but
it was building. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying it.
Wait. So you see how you're talking right now? This is how I feel like when you lot wasn't understanding Midsummer. Just so you know.
It wasn't an understanding.
No.
thing.
But understanding and enjoying because you didn't understand and enjoy.
My
It
whole
was
thing with the
3
butler
hours
was,
as well.
Why
Midsummer.
did she leave him
This was
alive?
90 minutes.
Why did she leave the butler?
That didn't mean anything.
Alive.
It
was in the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, why leave him alive? These
Fear.
people
Wanted to keep it
Nah,
moving.
get out. These people are
Trying to kill you.
You've come into this family and they're weird. They're blatantly weird.
They was weird
Off the
from
bat.
the
Yeah?
get-go.
Right, they were weird. Right, they're weird.
Well, as soon as you
Yeah?
meet them, apart from the mum
Yeah.
seemed nice.
It's funny how you've only got to the day of the wedding to realise that they're really weird, but go on.
Can I just ask, who's the mum? What's she been in? I recognise her from like
What's her
something
name?
in the
What's-
90s or
what's her
2000
name?
Who?
eras.
Andy McDowell.
Yeah.
she's just,
Yeah, she used to.
Oh, no,
She's been in a
she's
lot of
famous.
stuff,
Yeah,
innit?
She used to be in
she's
a lot
famous.
of things.
Yeah,
I can't think off the top of my head, but she used to be quite serious.
That's
what I'm
she
saying.
basically when she used to be
hold on,
she used to
look,
be
she's
young
in-
and buff, and now she's old and wrinkly.
She's been in Groundhog Day, Sex, Lies and Videotape.
Yeah.
That's from the 80s.
Yeah.
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Hudson Hawk with
Okay.
Bruce Willis. I believe.
Carry on.
Yeah, because I've seen her
There must be
face.
some- there must be
She
some-
still does like Olay commercials, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I think it is, you know.
Yeah, because her face, I was
about,
like, I
yeah.
know this face.
Yeah,
it's a
Andy
face I've grown up
And then
with.
She's famous.
It's just surprising
she is
she's in
famous.
that
And she does
supporting role.
and does the anti-wrinkle, which doesn't
Yeah,
work.
for I think it's
It doesn't
Olay
work.
or something. Yeah,
It doesn't work.
All right, Carl, so tell us more about Butler.
Yeah, the butler. Why, so
Why is
the-
he alive? Why not kill him?
what's is it Grace?
Grace, yeah.
So she's come into this family and she gets put into this game.
Yeah.
This game. It's not really explain why they're playing games, but it's just something we do. Just go with it. Cool. It becomes quite apparent that these people are out to kill you. Everyone in the house is out to kill you. Then she gets pretty much a 1-on-1, a 1v1 versus the butler, who's trying to kill her, and she doesn't.
didn't-
She
yeah,
doesn't
it
kill him.
was- it was a bit strange.
To me, that doesn't, because I think I put, why leave the butler alive? Oh, so he could catch her again later.
Yeah, that I
It didn't like.
That's a serious subplot issue right there, you know. But let's carry on.
well, look, I mean,
Hey, Kyle.
do you know what? Do you know what? I'm gonna. I mean, we've spoken about. I mean, unless you boys have got anything else you wanted to say that stuck out. For me, I've spoken about the majority of the film and what I liked. I'm just gonna read you, Carl. I'm gonna direct this at you. Yeah? I'm gonna read you the last few notes I wrote. So I've got Alex confirming his psyche is a bit messed up because of the way his family has behaved all his life, which I think we can all agree on. When he done his turn, which I thought was a bit random. Obviously, his brother gets killed. It pushed him over the edge. Cool, whatever. Then I've written mad scene.
Wait.
They're trying to kill Grace again. Go on.
Pause. Who killed the brother? It wasn't Grace.
I think, was it the wife? I can't even remember now. But anyway, the mum died. The mum got killed, which was mad.
No, that's what turned Alex.
Yeah, that turned Alex.
Because the mum was trying to make. Because obviously they wasn't trying to kill her. Just trying to maim. Get it right. Just,
Yeah,
just
because they
maim.
needed to perform the
the
ritual.
They needed to
ritual.
perform the ritual, yeah.
Just maim.
And then I've gone on to say, mad scene. They're all trying to kill Grace again. Then I've said, hang on, they're all acting like vampires. And my final note was, well, I wasn't expecting that. I'm sorry, Carl. I'm not one to turn my nose up at fantastical moments. I'm not one, I love a bit of sci-fi, the rest of it. But I couldn't get past that exploding body sequence. That for me,
Spontaneously combusting.
that for me,
Really? We're just gonna do that. Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? You remember Blade 1 when you?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
I'm a very random person. I like to be random. I like things that you're not expecting. I get all of that. But I'm sorry, after that scene, I actually just thought to myself, so I've just invested, how long was the running time?
It was only 90 minutes.
I've invested 89 minutes buying into the story.
95.
94
You should be used to that.
minutes.
That's about the same time you used to get when you were good.
Low blow. Just ignore that. As I said, close your eyes and hum your favourite song in the world. Everything will be fine. But I've just invested 94 minutes into this. I've bought into the story. I've bought into the film. I've paid money to see the film. And this is the ending you're giving me.
Was it not a cine world?
All right,
This is the ending you're giving me.
All right.
No, sorry. And then even that. Okay, so you're gonna do that. Okay, cool. Wow factor, shock factor. I get it.
And then the image.
And this was what, again, I just thought of you. The final scene. I think she said what? The in-laws, or something. To me, that is directly comparable with Danny smiling in Midsummer, which you hated.
How is it comparable?
Sorry.
Because we've got the main character who's gone through a massive turn situation, whatever, gone throughout the whole film, story, deaths, all of everything. She's sitting there covered in blood after just trying to run for her life for X amount of hours, and she wants to crack
Still in
jokes.
the wedding dress, by the way.
She wants to crack jokes.
Yeah, but can I ask you, was Midsummer meant to be funny?
No,
And I didn't take it as a funny film either.
it wasn't.
Exactly. This was not meant to be taken seriously.
Okay, so that's
All right.
why you're saying she ended
Yeah,
the film
because this
on
was not
lightheartedness.
Yeah, this was not. Are you saying you took the film seriously?
No, I didn't take it seriously.
So then,
but no. Listen,
that's it for me.
Listen,
Well,
there's not
did you
taking
take it
something
seriously?
seriously.
I took the film.
Did you take it seriously?
No.
No.
I
So
took
that
that
scene-
wait. I took that some people actually might live this lifestyle and take it seriously. I took that from the film.
And believe it
but
and
the
do
to-
what
okay.
do the
And
stuff
do
that's happening in the film.
exactly-
Okay, but the tone of the film was not meant to be taken seriously. I always come back to this. It's a film that knows what it is. If this was meant to be a serious like horror film or serious drama, then I would say, what? Where's this? But this wasn't meant to be taken seriously. So that scene was completely in place. Midsummer was meant to be taken seriously. There was no comedic.
Was Midsummer
element.
meant to be taken seriously?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Why'd you say that?
Because it was trying to be higher than what it was. It was about.
No, it wasn't trying to be higher.
Is that because it was filmed better? Are you saying that because the cinematography was
So
better?
what did you? So did you think it
The
was? It
cinematography
was
was
meant.
better.
It wasn't meant to be taken seriously.
Midsummer?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
You think the tone of that film was absolutely just out there? I didn't think so.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was looking at a cult, and it wasn't. The tone of it was not in jest.
I don't
at
think
all.
it wasn't a cult though.
I call it a cult.
No,
but-
I would put it in that
I
category
call it
as
a
well.
cult, and it was not in jest.
The reason
That
why I would-
film was not
okay,
in jest
Just
at
to
all.
clarify, the reason why I wouldn't put it as a cult, because a cult is usually you have a lead supreme figure and everyone flocks to do them from different places.
Okay,
Whatever.
by
this was
definition.
but this was a
All right.
community and this is their culture, so it's not a cult.
It's a cult to me.
No, but
That film's about a
I
cult.
just explained to you why it's not a cult. And the definition of a cult would be one person that's leading it,
Okay.
and everyone follows it from different places.
Outside of that
Do you
one
mean
person.
like
What, Spac Nation?
I was gonna say. Listen, we're leaving the Jews alone. We're leaving Spac Nation alone.
Okay, so we're talking about that.
Yeah.
But
Spac Nation.
yeah, but the tone of Midsummer was not in jest. It was not a joke. This was. So that's why I didn't have a problem with that scene at all.
And I get that, but just me personally, I didn't think they needed to take that route out of the film. I'm not saying it didn't work, because yes, it did wow me. Yes, it did make me think, what the hell? Like, it got a reaction, which I know that's what they were looking for. But me personally, after the way that the film went, and it was at that point, up until that scene, for me, a 3-star film. Like you say, it done what it wanted to do. It said what it did what it said on the tin. It did it pretty well. That was the fast, like the mad left turn, the swerve. That for me, I was like,
Well,
nah. That was the Marmite moment.
I enjoyed that personally because, again, I didn't take it seriously. That was quite funny to me that, actually, it is real. They've all exploded. The thing that you think, this is ridiculous. How can these people be believing this? And then they actually do explode. I actually found that funny.
Okay, fair enough. Now, it swerved way to the left for me. Favourite scenes before we wrap this one up? Carl.
There's a lot of scenes, man.
Wow. Can we just have one, please?
I'm gonna go with the
Your
scene,
favourite
the scene
one.
in the kitchen with the butler. That was very
When he was whistling,
intense.
when he was singing, yeah.
Yes,
And
that
she's
was
going
that
around
was
the thing.
intense. Yeah.
Amari.
Come back to me.
Charles.
Crossbolt in the mouth.
No, you know what? Following that, my favorite scene was when she killed the girl, thinking it was the other girl. When she killed the maid.
Yeah.
The cokehead killed the maid.
Yeah.
And then the family was like coming, and the dad coming
That was
was
like
no,
the cokehead. She repeatedly couldn't use any of the weapons.
she was a mess. But it's when the dad come in and said, "Why are you shooting her in the head though? You need to hit her so we can
Do the ritual.
Didn't
Yeah.
didn't one of them?
Daddy's little girl, innit?
I don't know. Did one of?
And she killed the favorite cousin. She killed the favorite cousin
We're
or
out
some
of
shit.
maids or something like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The film was a. That's what I'm.
There were funny
that's what I
bits.
mean.
There
But
were
that's-
funny bits.
It's like me complaining about, say, snakes on a plane and trying to take that film seriously.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be serious.
I hear
No,
what you're
but I don't
saying.
think it's
I
about
just think-
taking it seriously. I think it's,
I agree
it's
with
about
what
the
he
root.
said.
It's
I
about
agree
the
with what
root.
he said.
The tone. It's all about the tone.
It
Yeah.
was a film for me that knew exactly what it was,
Yeah.
and wasn't trying to present itself to be anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also, and I agree with what Carl said on that. But I also agree with what you said. That final spontaneous combustion scene didn't need to. They didn't need to do that. Like somewhere in my head, I think they've.
Well, in that it shouldn't have been real about the
Yeah, somewhere in my head, I think that for me, they filmed two endings. They've done an ending without that,
Yeah.
and they've done an ending with that,
And they've said,
and
let's-
they've gone
let's
with
do it.
maybe
Yeah.
they might have done a test.
Little focus group and said, which
Yeah.
one do you find more
That
entertaining?
you, me
Yeah.
wasn't on.
Wasn't
By the
on,
way-
yeah.
by the way,
It's true.
Jackie, Auntie Jackie, we're gonna have that
That's it.
word.
Have words.
But yeah, I think
no, I
they
agree
had-
with that.
I could see them having two endings, and then so probably on the DVD release there'll be a like a
No, but
alternative
what
ending.
annoyed me about the ending was the fact that was his name Mr. LaBelle. Mr. LaBelle was there laughing, and I was like,
It just got a bit
that was
hokey,
that
man.
was mad. Like
It was a
throughout
bit
the whole
silly.
film,
It was
Yeah.
like the film was silly. This was very silly.
Very silly, and it's like you could like, okay, all right, look, you know what, let me just do this. My favorite scene was when she fell into the pit in the
goat pit.
What do you mean?
Let me just get to
Goat,
this.
which is sometimes represented as the devil as well.
Good link.
Yeah, that.
Good link. Didn't think of that.
Do you mean like the part where she used her hand as a joke to say?
Yeah. When she had to come out of that. So anyway, I'm giving this 2 stars. Reason for that, it would have been 3 because
You're laughing now.
because I was entertained. I was entertained. For me, what stood out the most was the cinematography, as we spoke about, the way that everything within the house was filmed, the lighting, the music as well, very suspenseful, and that was all done with the way it was filmed. I thought that was good. Performances were good as well. I can't say they weren't. I felt that each character played a role that wasn't in any way the same as any other, so they all were very individual. That was good as well. Storyline was kind of original, kind of fresh. Didn't know what to expect. I think they did that well. But for me, the ending, I just couldn't get with it, man. As I say, I invested the time watching this film. I was bought in, and I would have preferred to have a slightly different ending than 6 or 5 people randomly blowing up and then a ghost appearing on the chair and then she walks out. It was a bit too out there for me. Not to say that wouldn't have worked in another film, another setting, but in this particular one, I thought that was a poor way to end what would have been a decent film. So that's what brought the star rating down for me. So it's 2 stars from me. Giles.
It's 1 star from me. Yes, I said he's laughing now. The thing was, it originally was a 2-star. It was a 2-star film.
These guys,
so angry.
these guys. It's funny. I'll get on to you two.
It originally was a 2-star film because I know. Notes
It's
are in
like
the
you
book.
know, it's notes in the review
it's cool.
to say it for
It's
the
cool.
review.
It's
Can
calm.
you
It's calm.
imagine?
It's fine. It originally was a 2-star film for me, but then the ending, for me, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending. The whole exploding. Like, okay, really? Like, I mean, they didn't really go into that much depth about why they even had this pact. It was just like, oh yeah, we've got this pact with Mr. LaBelle, and we have to do this because Mr. LaBelle said, and we've got this pact, and okay, but why? I just kept on asking, but why? Then I had
Mr. LaBelle met their granddaddy, great granddaddy, and he gave them the bucks. That's why they have
For money.
They need the money.
Was it? No, it wasn't
He
even.
said
For,
one of them. I
it
can't.
wasn't for money.
I don't know what he
the
said.
The dad was talking about it, but it wasn't even for money.
No, it was because he said, "I'd rather be
success or
dead
something.
than lose all of this."
Yeah, it's a success, money, success, power. Because obviously there are
The things you're willing to do for
but
money.
then so even if we go with that, so they've got to sacrifice someone who's married into their family only if they choose this game.
Yeah,
They had about 80 games. They're a games production company.
Yeah.
And they've got about 80 games, and they have to choose this game for.
Speaking of which, how did that box even work?
Bruv, I don't know, bro.
Like,
A card in,
Yeah.
come out.
Mr. LaBelle wrote what he wanted in the card, didn't it?
Yeah.
About
Why,
Mr.
but he
LaBelle.
didn't choose that all the time.
Whoa, because you only want to see people die every now and
it's too
then.
much.
I told you.
And this is why I wrote 1 star. Then for me, there was the whole, okay, the game they're playing is hide and seek.
Sorry, before you say anymore, in hide and seek, I never knew somebody died. But carry on.
Say that again?
In hide and seek, I never knew it was the aim to kill someone.
There's that. But okay, they're playing
their
hide and
version.
seek. Yeah, right. I can buy into all of that.
I can't even do that, but
But
carry
then-
on.
The whole point, and then I got the point was, okay, not to kill her, to maim her so that we can perform this ritual. But then one of the brothers found her. Was it Daniel?
No, it was Daniel. That's
Daniel
it. Yeah.
found her.
Adam Brody.
And I
Yeah.
said, I give you time to run away.
And then let her go. And it was like, hang on.
He
He didn't like. He wasn't on it.
He wasn't as on it.
He wasn't on it, and they did show several things throughout the film that showed he wasn't on
But
it.
still, he agreed to
The
participate.
Butler
in
one
the-
was a bit more of like
and then you had the Butler one.
yeah.
Like, so yeah, 1 star.
1 star from
But
G.
there was enough in the film for me to be entertained. And as
Entertained.
we've said before, we can be entertained by
bad
1-star films.
Yeah.
So I
Amari.
just don't
So
subscribe to that.
Before, okay, that's your mistake. That is completely your own mistake. Because trust me, I've seen worse films and I've been entertained.
Entertained, trust me.
I don't get-
Sharknado. We say it every time.
Hey,
Carl, have you seen
listen.
Sharknado?
But no, I haven't actually seen it.
See, you don't even know.
You might
don't-
even be
don't
entertained.
You don't even know what you're missing.
But I'll explain why anyway.
Anyway, so I will recommend people to watch this film if they want to be entertained. But if they're gonna ask many questions after the film, don't call my number. Don't even message me on WhatsApp. And I'll block you on normal message, so I don't have to.
To be fair though,
respond.
Amari, even if you speak to them on WhatsApp in a conference call
Okay, we're not
and you can
discussing-
see their face, you probably won't even remember the call anyway. So people, please do phone them and text
It's
them. 'Cause you
true.
won't remember.
It's true.
All right, so we're not going to discuss about that. All right, cool. Now, this film, I was going to be really petty just because of Carl's hate towards Midsummer. I was going to reduce my star rating.
That's personal. That's
You know,
personal.
I know. I said I was. But the film was entertaining, but there's too many pitfalls. Like I don't understand. Like if the brother, no, what I don't understand is if the brother didn't want to play, the brother could have either just killed her, or he could have killed himself. Simples.
What if he doesn't want to do either?
What? So he plays? Then he's stupid.
He doesn't have a choice, but anyway.
So I mean, he does have a choice. I just gave you two options.
What if he doesn't want to kill himself?
He kills her.
He could have run off.
He could have not been there.
Okay, but they didn't know what card they were going to draw.
No, but I said,
right?
no, but after he
But
knew
Mr.
what
LaBelle
card had
did.
been drawn.
Okay.
Stop that. He drew the card. So after that point, he knew what he could have done. Alright, and he chose none of the above, apart from doing some wet behavior shit, thinking then like, oh, let me be the good one, because he kept on trying to tempt her not to play or not to marry into the family. Definitely probably hit her on at one point or two in the film, but we're not going to discuss that. We're not discussing that. Anyway, back to the film. Now, it was entertaining. However, I'm telling you, from that girl, I'm killing that little boy just for trying to kill me in the middle of the process. Just so you know. You think I'm just waiting to kill the mum? I'm trying to take out every motherfucker. Everyone can't
No,
get
it's
it.
true.
Of course.
It's true.
And the only person that's not going to get it is the brother, because the brother's actually trying not to kill me.
Yeah.
And just to jump on that point,
100%.
to piggyback that point, I would have much rather seen a sort of like Grace goes flipping Rambo on them and does a next and wipes them out and has a showdown.
Even when she got the gun and she had the bullets, you'd think, okay.
And the bullets, did the bullets even work or something?
It was an antique
You
gun.
think I put them up there? You think I put the real ones on the wall?
Because I think that's on the poster.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the
She's-
poster.
Yeah.
That is on the poster.
Dressed in the shorties.
I love
Yeah.
that poster.
No, it's good. But yeah, so yeah, I would have preferred to see something going down those lines.
But that didn't happen. So instead, they just blew up. Hey, listen, like I said, like Blade. Hey, listen, I didn't watch vampires. It's not okay. So that all being said, I'm gonna give it a gracious 2 stars.
That's a gracious.
And the reason why it gets 2 and not 1 is because the comedy moments did increase the banter for me.
2 stars from Amari. So Carl, that leaves you with
15-star film. Carry on.
Exactly. That's the only way I can get the rating I want.
but unfortunately,
I love the way there's agendas. People are strategic. I reckon people are changing their rating when we're rating.
I was expecting. Listen, I'm actually leaving here disappointed today because I was expecting a midsummer-esque style rating, but I've got the complete opposite. So, so Carl, star rating.
What's interesting? Again, I've been listening back to previous shows so I can take out snippets and stuff. And there was a show where we were rating Child's Play, and even Amari said is that you two guys' review sounded very 3-starish, but you both gave it 1 or 2. I can't remember which it was. And this, I'm getting the exact same vibe again because the way you spoke about the film is 2 stars. So this goes back to the whole star rating thing anyway. Because to me, even if Sharknado is a horribly shot film or whatever, if I was thoroughly entertained, I would give it 4. Because I'm not judging the film on its cinematography, its acting, it's how much I enjoy it.
But I am.
But
Can I just say, when I rate a film, I am looking at.
But
all
when
the
you go to
different aspects.
a film, you go to be entertained.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
And
but if we're gonna break down the levels of entertainment, what is entertaining me?
And it's a
so
it's 1 star of entertainment.
The kitchen
Yeah.
was a shit film, but it looked good. As I said, I liked the setting, I liked the costumes, I liked the music. So I might
feel
not
of the film.
exactly. So
Yeah.
even if a film, the acting and the words and what isn't grabbing me, other elements are.
But for this film, you guys liked the kill scenes. You liked the majority of the characters. Yeah. You didn't like the ending. But what else was it that you didn't like that it was so bad that you gave it 1 and you gave it 2?
I said I was going to
gave
give
it
it 2. It was going to
but
get
even 2 is poor.
But 2 is a poor film.
It's a poor film.
Because its plot
and
holes,
my-
plot holes in the storytelling was real.
That's one point. And the
It was
main thing for me
real.
is the direction the film took. If a film is going a certain way and then it takes a mad left turn, which this did, and I left the cinema
Do you know
feeling
what? It's mad
this
because
is distasteful.
it's funny because I didn't see it as a mad left turn because the film was mad. This is ridiculous. They're playing a game.
Yeah.
Where they
I hear what you're saying.
It's ridiculous.
I hear
So
what you're saying.
it's not
And
a left
there
turn
was
for
this
me.
curse that said they were going to blow up
Yeah.
and they blew up.
Yeah, it's
I
not a
get
left
that.
turn.
But to me, this was when they all started blowing up.
Yeah.
It was as ridiculous as when you know in the Dead Don't Die
Hold
when
on,
a
hold on.
spaceship came
Yeah.
and took that. It was, for me, it was like
no,
they
no.
started blowing up. Like it was the first song went and it was like
What? I was like, what?
But that
And it-
was the
and it-
curse.
when I actually saw,
That
when
was
you
the
actually
curse that was
focused
spoken
on the
about.
body blowing up, when you actually focused on it, I just thought
No,
this is a
you know what
joke
killed
thing.
it?
Yeah.
No, you know what
This
killed
is-
it? It's when she ran outside with the 2 kids round the corner to thinking there was to run away to me.
And then you saw the cloud.
He saw
Bruv,
the
it was and this is what I'm saying.
Them splat faces right there. It was like art attack.
I would have appreciated that, Carl, had there been maybe a little bit more alluring to the fact that this was more fantastical than it was. For me, don't leave it all to the last 2 minutes of the film where I'm watching people blow up and a ghost appear after I've just spent a majority of the film following what could be
90 minutes.
a realistic situation.
90 minutes.
I guess it's all about perspective on
It's
where
perspective.
you're coming from.
It's
Because to
perspective.
me,
Do you know
I
what?
thought the film was ridiculous in
Anyway.
its premise anyway.
well, you-
and that is what the foretelling was, is that if you don't get this by a certain time, this is what's going to happen. So to me, that's not left field. It was spoken
Do you know
about
what?
from the very start.
Give your star rating. I'll
So
talk
yeah,
on.
this to me is what Midsummer should have been.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Many societal themes and topics.
Societal.
Exploring.
Societal.
Yep.
Societal how?
I've just told you the thing.
No, hold on. No. Let the man give his wrap up.
I've given you I've told you, even you spoke about the YouTube and how real that was. How you could just go to YouTube for everything. But no, we've spoken about the themes.
There are a few things. Yeah, there are a few things.
We've spoken about those themes.
Because you're telling me that Midsummer for its own society wasn't legit for all its themes that it was showing.
No.
And you're telling me
No,
themes.
Midsummer was just boring.
The way you just said it, but the way you just compared the two is that it should have been.
Yeah.
No.
Because this was entertaining. These guys had an issue with the end, but ultimately, from start, most of the majority of the film, you guys were entertained. You've given it a shit rating, but you will still say you were entertained. I was not entertained in any way through Midsummer. So I'm saying this is what it should have been because it had themes and I was still entertained in 90 minutes, not 3 hours. I loved every single character in this film.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I thought the woman gave a very good performance. I liked her transition.
Woman.
Yeah,
There's a few women.
Yeah, Grace.
the leading character, Grace. I liked her
We're not talking about the
transition.
kitchen anymore, you know. We've moved on from that.
It's hard to. He's still pulling his leg out. He's pulling his leg out.
It wasn't hard. Trust
The
me.
woman.
Yeah, Grace. Sorry, Grace. Sorry.
Sorry,
Loved it
Grace.
so much. The woman.
Can't remember
Hey,
her
listen,
name.
this is
Can you
over
imagine?
6 weeks ago. Since I watched this film.
It was a while.
It's true.
It was a while.
Man's racking the depth of his brain to pull out his review. man.
Trust me. But yeah, so I enjoyed her transition from the little kind of, not feeble girl, but innocent girl into someone a bit like Ripley from Aliens.
No, what?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, it's not. Sorry. No, wait.
I just said her transition into
I'd
that.
like to deal with you dissing Midsummer in comparison, and then you try to say this girl's like Ripley.
Man
from-
said Ripley
a
from
whole
Aliens.
Ripley, a whole.
Yes.
A whole Alien franchise.
I'm not comparing the film.
No,
I'm just
but you
saying the
comparing it-
transition from where she started to where she finished. I like that.
No,
transition.
because she didn't.
But anyway.
The timid, abused woman
Yes.
in the kitchen had more of a character transition.
Nah.
What do you mean? No. Did you watch the kitchen
Not for
properly?
me.
That
I
was
did.
the only character
She
with
was
development.
cutting up bodies.
I did not like her.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
I've
But
got one thing to say about this.
wow.
Yeah. Jolting. Anyway, cut the batty.
Anyway,
Get to your
the
rating.
film was intense, non-stop action from start to finish.
Intense.
It wasn't intense.
You know what's coming, innit? You know what's
Yeah, I
coming.
know.
If he ever gets towards a 5,
So wait.
if he gets to a 5, I'm going to.
There weren't tense scenes in the film. No,
What scene?
there wasn't.
No, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, but you said
I'm not
intense.
arguing that.
No, intense. Tense.
You found it intense.
Yeah, there are certain scenes. Yeah, did you not? Are you not laughing at that as if they were not?
I'm
It's
not
just that
laughing.
I'm laughing. I was laughing at the way.
This is crazy to me.
I was laughing at
This
the
is
way
crazy to me.
you were touched because no, they were intense scenes. Let's not.
No, but the way you're saying it is
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
You're
It's
saying
the
the
way
film. You're
he's
saying that the
saying
film
it.
is
I said
intense.
the film
The
was
whole
intense and non-stop action from start to finish,
non-stop action.
which is what it was. Anyway, it's 4 stars.
4 stars from Carl.
Easy.
Good. I'm glad you went with 4 stars.
Easy 4
Easy.
stars.
Good. Do you know why? Because I've already done the math. Yeah. So I'm glad you
I
went
know
with
it's
4
getting
stars.
2s.
Yes. Good. You got
I know it's getting 2.
Can I present this, please?
because if you'd have gone 5, it would have got a 3.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you've gone 4.
I should have went for 5.
Yeah,
No, it's too late now. There's
Listen.
no re-ups.
Nah, it's
Listen,
fine.
if you'd have gone for 5, we'd have had to have an emergency meeting after this podcast.
It would have been after. It'd been in the middle.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the middle.
Yeah. We'd have
Because I would
recorded
be
the meeting.
like, I'll be like, what's half? What's
Listen.
half? What does 2 halves get? None. That's what we'll be doing.
Fam.
Listen, Kyle, the hashtag TMRG star rating for Ready or Not is 2 stars.
Good.
Fair rating.
Yes, a very fair rating.
It's, as I said, this is
I
the
would've-
exact same as Child's Play. If you don't go back and listen to it, it's the exact same. So I came into this show knowing you two was gonna say the exact same thing.
Listen, you came into this show late. It's fucking 10 to 1 and we're still here because you came in here
I
late.
knew you lot were gonna enjoy it, but still give it a shit rating. I knew.
Well, it is what it
Wait,
is.
I'm wait,
It is what it is.
I'm curious.
I
What?
can't enjoy a film and give it a shit rating.
course you
I
can.
can't.
You
I
can.
can't.
You can. You can.
No, that's not the way I
can.
rate it. That's
Well,
not the way
to
I
be
rate
fair,
films.
you
If something's shit, I give it a shit rating. If something's good, I give it a good rating.
because there's films
that's
that are
it.
shit that you like.
Levels.
No.
But the thing is,
Okay,
right,
there's a film. You've seen a lot of films. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a film, and I didn't even think of it at the time. It's while we was talking about the film. There's a film that came out many years ago called Stay Alive. Okay, and it's about a computer game. Like these people play a computer game, but there's like a ghost thing attached to it. Like they play on, and it's the very early echelons of online gaming. Go and watch this film and see if there's any similarities between that and this.
All right.
And I enjoyed that one. I've watched that one a few times. Obviously, it came out in 2006. So it's a while. Yeah, but just look at it for the time that it came out, and we'll have a conversation about that. Maybe in the wrap up show.
But for now, that's all we've got time for. In the next episode, we will be reviewing The Day Shall Come, Loose, and The Last Black Man in San Francisco. But until then, make sure you subscribe to us across all major streaming platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, to name a couple. Don't forget to leave us that 5-star review. And get in touch with us as well across all social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all under @TMRG Podcasts. Those movie review guys, we out.